It's been a challenging year. But is it the year these teams take off in the ACC?
Right now we're 1-0, and we're trying to get the momentum rolling for the season.
They'll need to get it going right out of the gate.
Somebody give me something to believe.
D'Eriq King is new to Miami, but there's no time to get used to the U. A top 20 test is first on his to-do list. Louisville counters with a set of triplets who can beat you in every way.
Here's another Louisville touchdown. The triplets get the job done tonight.
With redemption on their mind.
We lost to those guys, and it left a chip on our shoulder, so we're pumped and ready for it.
To emerge from the shadows and into contention for the conference title, the first step is in prime time, when the Hurricanes meet the Cardinals on Saturday Night Football.
Cardinals taking the field as you watch this presentation of the ACC on ESPN. Both these teams have cleared so many mental and physical hurdles in this most challenging of off seasons. They are pumped up for this ranked matchup here in Louisville. We're pumped up to have Allison Williams reporting from the sidelines tonight. Hi, Allison.
Hey there, Chris. Pumped up to be with you. And, you know, this is a capacity, a crowd of 20%. And it's going to be different. Each game this year is going to feel different based on what local governments will allow for fans. But I'll tell you, the energy on the field, it is on full display. The Miami players were flying around, the defensive line busting their moves. And let's just remember, this Louisville staff, well, they have a reputation for the pregame hype and intensity, and it was on full display. Both teams told us that COVID took away the fun this offseason. There were no team outings or barbecues, no trips to the beach. They put in the work, though, so tonight, for games, they can go out there and have some fun, and it's already started, Chris.
That's a great point. Look, a lot of parts of this job for these players is not fun, as you know. The games are fun, but it's even more important what happens on Saturday nights because the weeks are still difficult with all the regulations.
Yeah, they are, but I think Allison makes a great point about just the coaches around the country are doing a very good job despite the restrictions and the challenges of making these guys have fun. Not making them, but getting them excited, getting them fired up for Saturday, whether you have 12,000 like we have here tonight or nobody in the stands. I've been impressed by that, really, around the country.
This was a rout a year ago in Miami. The Cardinals hungry to atone for that. Miami a slight road favorite at kickoff tonight. Cardinals won the toss deferred, and so Brock Travelstead will boot it away. And Mark Pope, Miami's wide receiver, number 6, is deep to receive the kickoff. ACC for both teams about to get underway. And Travelstead's kick driven into the end zone. Canes from the 25, and here is D'Eriq King. He had a sensational 2018 down in Houston, accounted for 50 total touchdowns, running and throwing. 4 games into 2019, when Houston was 1-3, Holgorsen had the idea, maybe redshirt. Then at the end of that year, he decided to transfer to Miami, and Rhett Lashley there, a new offensive system. King could not have been more impressive in the offseason to get ready for this.
Yeah, it's to me, it solidifies not just this offense, but this team. You know, if you talk to the Miami players, the coaches on both sides of the ball, you know, they cannot say enough about D'Eriq King, not just, again, the playmaking ability, but how he is able to get everybody to believe that they got a chance to win games.
Rolls and throws on first down. And there's his best weapon, the tight end, Brevin Jr., the junior out of Las Vegas, and the Canes are off and running. Big gain on the first play.
Yeah, I love to see how they get Jordan the football early. They've got to be able to establish the run. Here's our Chick-fil-A impact players. You'll see Harris in the backfield had a big game. Jordan just made a catch. Avery 9 in the middle defensively, and Russ Yeast has got to be in the back end making plays as well, being the quarterback in that secondary.
18 yards on the first play. King is a very dangerous scrambler on the design run. Brought down by Isaiah Hayes. Got 3 yards.
I think they had too many men in the backfield in that formation. Miami. One of the things when you go this new system with Rhett Lashley, and Diaz went out and hired Lashley from Memphis, where he's with Sonny Dykes, one of the air raid offenses. And it's all about tempo, right? And you go back to Rhett Lashley before that, he was at Auburn. And, of course, it's with Gus Malzahn, it's about tempo.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 men in the backfield.
Yeah.
5-yard penalty.
Tonight, the priority, Kurt, get the passing game going. They ran over UAB 337 on the ground a week ago. King missed some throws, though.
Yeah, he did. And I think, you got to remember, this is all work in progress for a new system, a quarterback that's getting comfortable with the timing with these receivers, and also with the offensive line and pass protection, an area they really struggled last year. 51 sacks.
King pressure. Can he escape? And he's going to be trapped behind the line as Louisville brought pressure, and the elusive number 1 could not get away.
Yeah, they bring pressure right up there. You see the linebacker, Avery, bringing pressure. The other linebacker, Etheridge. One of the things that they know they have to do, and like I said, it was an Achilles heel for the Canes last year. You give up 51 sacks. It's one of the near the bottom of the entire country. Now, there's some new faces up there. You got a new system. But if you're Louisville and you're Brian Brown, the defensive coordinator, you got to bring pressure on D'Eriq King.
And they swarm the ball carrier behind the line. That's Cam Harris, junior out of Carroll City High School. This is a heck of a sequence for the Cardinals defense after that 18-yard gain on the first play.
And what you'll see from this defense, I really love Brian Brown's scheme. They play a 3-4, 3-down lineman, but they are slanting and angling. Those linebackers are coming downhill in a hurry. Look, there's confusion on that left side there of the offensive line. So Miami kind of self-destructing after that nice play on the first play of the game to Brevin Jordan. Who says 12,000 fans can't make a difference, right?
I was just going to say, in normal weeks, you got 12,000 fans. How depressing. But it's kind of electrocuted. Folks are on their feet, and Miami offensive line misfiring a couple times already.
Yeah.
3rd and 24. They expect this offensive line to be one of the areas of improvement. But a rough start in the first series. Louisville rushing just 3. Plenty of time from the pocket and the outlet. And the flat to Harris, and he's knocked down. So after a dynamic opening play, Miami goes backwards, and Louisville forces a punt.
Yeah, they're going to have to do a good job of moving him around tonight and getting their running game going, because when he drops back to throw, in that first series, you could see it's still an issue with Miami trying to take care of their quarterback and giving him enough time to be able to evaluate the coverage and make a decision.
Lou Headley to punt. Rajay Burns is a linebacker, so you know you have a good athlete at linebacker when he doubles as the punt returner. And the Aussie rolls out. He is a weapon, a booming punt. Burns backpedals and takes a fair catch at the 20-yard line, a 47-yard punt. That's what he averaged in the opener. So here comes Malik Cunningham. That's what he wants to be called now. It's been Malik, then it was McHale. Now it's back to Malik. Whatever you call him, he's a talented deep ball thrower, and he's got playmakers all over the place.
Yeah, and remember, it's second year in the system. Boy, it makes a big difference. I think he has such a better grasp of what they're trying to do. And you're right, Chris. He's got a lot of playmakers. Tutu Atwell gets most of the attention, number 1, but Des Fitzpatrick, number 7, is dynamic. Justin Marshall can hurt you. Not to mention what they have in the backfield.
He's immediately under pressure on the play-action fake. Tried to get the ball right away to Tutu Atwell, the speedy Miami native. Certainly one of the impact players on this offense.
Yeah, you'll see him do a lot of different things to get him the football, but it really starts with their running game, whether it's Cunningham or Hawkins in that backfield. Then eventually they will find Tutu Atwell. We've already talked a lot tonight about Phillips. We'll talk more about him throughout the game, and they're loaded at safety. Gervin Hall, 26, kind of the leader back there, but they've got 3 that are NFL caliber safeties.
Second down. Hawkins finds a crease, breaks a tackle, and lowers the head. He's right near the marker at the 30-yard line, coming off a big game against Western Kentucky.
Watch the block right there by the right tackle, Brown. See how he does a good job of holding that point. And when they run this outside stretch play, I'll tell you, Hawkins has as good a feel as any back you'll see. It's just kind of being patient, waiting for that crease, then putting his foot in the ground and accelerating with that burst upfield.
He's got it again, and this time they muscle in Miami. Stopping the run is certainly a strength of Diaz's defense a year ago. Only 3.2 a carry. That's strong. PlayStation is Hawkins' nickname. You're the PlayStation guy. Look at the controller. These are the authentic.
Now that's my controller. That's old.
We got the spin move here.
Look at that controller. Yeah, see, I can play with that controller. The controllers today, they got 12 buttons.
He's got all the moves.
He does. I mean, he does do it all. I love he's low center of gravity, 5'9", about 196 pounds, but he also has great speed to go with that power.
Cunningham rolls, tries to create on the fly, has some blocks, gets the edge, has a first down, and has Miami territory before he is finally cut down by Amari Carter, but a big scramble. 24 yards.
See how Atwell goes into motion. He's looking to throw down there, but it's taken away. Keeps the play alive, shows the patience. Probably the area he's grown the most. Instead of forcing a ball, I think now he understands the scheme better, understands coverage better, just comes off of it, and then he can utilize his legs. And if they don't have a spy on him, they play man. He's tough to bring down.
And they mishandle. He's got to retrieve the snap. Does so nicely on the fly. And is shoved down, and that'll draw a 15-yard penalty against Miami's defense. So it could have been a disastrous play. Cunningham rescued it, and now they're going to get a first down. Keontre Smith, I think guilty of the personal foul.
Keontre Smith's just excited to be in the game, in for Frierson, and just makes a mistake where he's overly aggressive. And that was, they're about to catch a break. Now Manny Diaz wants to call him over and talk to him. He's a guy that they think has a really bright future, and he's just so amped up. Big mistake.
Roughness defense, number 4. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Took about a swing within about 6 seconds here. What this could have been for Louisville.
Oh yeah. They catch a break with the snap going through his legs. It wasn't, again, it was just the timing of it, where he hit him. He's well out of bounds. You almost could see in super slow-mo, he realized what he had done and tried to almost grab him and hold him up. But by then, he was fired. You look at him. Well, now the
coach is fired up.
Yeah.
If you're going to shove a guy that late, try not to do it on their bench. And remember how spread out the bench is. A much different look here. The COVID distancing restrictions. Players all the way down to the 15-yard line. On first down now, Cunningham rolls, is chased by Phillips, and has to just throw it away. You see the speed of the big man Phillips running down the quarterback that time.
Yeah, and also you see really good coverage on that play by Miami. It was kind of a levels concept, and all 3 levels were taken away. You saw Zach McLeod, who redshirted last year, and has taken over kind of the leadership role of those linebackers. In really good position there. There's nothing Cunningham could do but throw that ball away.
Talk about 2 hungry guys, Phillips and Roche, in contract years, and their skill set can make you a rich man. They can have big years this year. And running left, Hawkins again has a crease, sheds a tackle. They shove him again right near the sideline. No flag this time. It'll set up third down.
Great block by Boone, the left tackle. Watch him kind of hooks the edge here, holds that edge, and in man coverage, the corner's gone. So they're able to get to that corner in a hurry, set up a 3rd and short here. They're going to keep stretching the outside of the Miami defense, and you're either going to set the edge as a D-end or a backer, or those corners are going to have to come up and be involved in the run game.
Cardinals need 2 on third down. Cunningham keeps it, throws it into flat, and knocked down is Marshawn Ford. Initially got away from the tackle of Bolden, but is going to be knocked down behind the line of scrimmage. It's 4th at about 3 now.
That's a great play by Bolden. I know that the big tight end Ford's almost stayed alive, but Bolden, he didn't hesitate, man. He just shot. Watch 21 off to the right. He reads this play, anticipates that throw, and because of how quickly he reacted, he was able to get his hands enough to slow down Ford there.
So the first career field goal attempt for James Turner, who was perfect on 5 PATs in the opener. This from 40 yards. And a successful start to his field goal kicking career. And the Cardinals take it 58 yards in 8 plays to jump on top, 3-0. Given the guidelines, it's a festive start. You can see the AT&T 5G SkyCam. Check out the AT&T 5G SkyCam SkyCast streaming live on ESPN3 and the ESPN app. So an impressive drive from the Cardinals. It stalls, but they draw first blood. Another kickoff from Brock Travelstead. And this Miami offensive line will try to settle down after a troubled first series. Well, D'Eriq King, all about his family, and he lost his dad, Eric, to a heart attack at the age of 48 in February. Went back to Houston. They delayed the start of spring practice for a couple of days so he could go home. Already his mom, Cassandra, had been diagnosed with breast cancer. We got good news, ringing the bell. Cancer-free in July, and she and some of her kids came to Miami for the opener. They are here tonight in Louisville to support D'Eriq, and that means a whole lot to him.
Yeah, his family obviously very influential on him, and a person he is, not just a player, but the person. And been a tough year for D'Eriq King.
Play action. King slings it far side, and it's complete to D. Wiggins. Allison?
Chris, I talked to him about what this last year has been like. He said it's just been crazy. But the one thing that really stood out to me is how much he's just been impacted by the importance of his family, how much they have lifted him up. He said going through all this made me realize football isn't everything. Before, it was my world. Now I know the most important thing in this world is my family and the relationships with the people I love.
Yeah, very impressive kid. Harris has the edge, and Cam Harris following his block. Big explosive run down inside the Louisville 30-yard line.
Nice job by this offensive line. Watch the right guard, Scaife, get up and get to that second level. But this time, they sustain their blocks. And, Cam Harris, a powerful guy, but can accelerate away from contact.
Playing fast into the 38-yard game. That time, Harris kind of stumbled as he got the handoff, met right at the line of scrimmage. A big physical guy who looks like he weighs more than 210 to me.
And in this tempo right now, it's all about this new system. And you watch certain college games, and some tempos are faster than others. Well, again, Rhett Lashley played for Gus Malzahn in high school. Then he coached with him for a number of years, so 10 years. So, he is a guy that believes in trying to get a defense on its heels by not just the play calling, but the tempo is vitally important.
Quick strike, had it up in the air, and falls to the carpet. A dangerous throw. It bounced off the hands, and Burns was in the area.
Now Burns does a good job of not hesitating. Watch his eyes on the quarterback, and then he reads the route, and now all of a sudden he gets up quickly. Instead of sitting back, he did that last year. He made a lot of plays, kind of playing that Cardinal backer, which is their hybrid. He sits over that slot, and he does a good job of just having a feel for when to accelerate and put his foot in the ground and come up, and when to sit back. And that time, really good play.
Offside, though, called on Louisville, so they mark it off. Second and 6.
I didn't see it.
No, I didn't either. The quick throw to the perimeter. Pope has a blocker and knocked out of bounds. Now it's the Hurricanes' turn to call for a personal foul flag. I don't see one over there.
Nice block by the tight end, Brevin Jordan, who they really use as much at times as a receiver. But that was just D'Eriq King seeing the numbers. The inside receiver had a soft defensive back, and he gets out of the running game and flips it out to his receiver.
Another quick first down play. Toss over the middle. Caught. Will Mallory. Touchdown, Miami. And the Canes answer very quickly. What a drive.
But when you have a back that can do damage like Cam Harris, and he did that earlier, you fake here, watch how it impacts this linebacker, and you can slide the tight end behind him. Watch the backer's eyes. See the hesitation? All of a sudden now he's just out of position. Look at that throw to the back shoulder there by King. Instead of leading him to the defender, he throws it to the back shoulder. Great accuracy and a great play call there by Lashley.
Canes have an elite kicker now, and Jose Borregales, the grad transfer from FIU, who is the all-time leading scorer at that school. Living his dream, adds the PAT. And D'Eriq King in the second possession quickly leads Miami down the field 75 yards. They take the lead. Cassandra said, that's what I traveled to Louisville to see. Miami up 4. Traditional first Saturday in May, right? You missed Derby 146. Everybody missed it.
Yeah, man, it's my favorite weekend of the year. I love it.
Trevelyan's looking a little dark. It's very near Cardinal Stadium. Well, Derby 147. You'll be back there.
Yeah.
Losing a bunch of money like you usually.
I stumbled into some wins last year. You didn't hear about that?
I heard about it.
It was total accident.
Oh, I've heard about it.
I was a total accident.
The Bears helped fill me in.
Oh, I'm sure. It's a great story, actually.
Roy Gallus kickoff into the end zone. College game day. You guys did a great job, I thought. It's difficult. It's a challenging year for the show to get the energy. Lee Corso from his backyard, and you guys are headed to Coral Gables, or I guess Miami.
Yeah.
Florida State, Miami will be our primetime game.
Yeah.
Reported earlier, Mike Norvell, a positive COVID test. He can coach remotely, but Chris Thompson will do the in-person head coaching duties for the Seminoles. They have no reason to believe the game is in jeopardy.
We keep saying it's just going to be one of those years, right? It's just, as Lee Corso says, improvise and adjust all the way through the entire season.
Cunningham looking to throw and delivers a strike to Des Fitzpatrick, one of the dangerous playmakers. And the man from Michigan, the fifth-year senior, has first down yardage.
Yeah, it's a nice job. Little play fake, but more importantly, the rhythm, the timing, just kind of puts his foot, gets back there after the fake and times it up well. These receivers and Malik Cunningham, after playing last year, they really, about middle of the year, they were rotating 3 different quarterbacks throughout the year. Cunningham took over, and once he did, I think he and his receivers really grew and had a great bowl game over Mississippi State and went into the offseason.
Their roommates should have good chemistry. Here's a first down run. And Jalen Phillips flying in there. He's not just a pass rusher. He's also very, very strong in run support.
Yeah, Chris, he's worked very, very hard to get better. Watch 15, use his hands, just get off that block. I mean, he is an elite player. I mean, when he came out of high school out in California, ended up going to UCLA, one of the top defensive players in the entire country. He just had a bunch of injuries in his 2 years out at UCLA, almost contemplating giving up the game.
On 2nd and 9, a slow developing run. Hawkins trying to stay alive, does break a tackle, and another, and skips out inside the Miami 40. Did well to avoid a loss.
Yeah, he does a really good job of just kind of bouncing around. Not a whole lot of blocks, but you can see he's almost using his lineman there. George as an obstacle as he just kind of jump cuts and shows you that balance that he has.
Slips the tackle of Roche off the edge. He was the American Association Conference Player of the Year on defense last year. That's how good he was at Temple. Cunningham moves the pocket and just has to flip it into the bench. That time you got to concede. The pass rush for the Canes won that one.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen. The timing of this was not good. Watch the left side of the line. They start to get out of there, but before they get out of there, there's already pressure. Miami had gotten, Jonathan Ford, 96, had gotten in on the other side, so the timing of that screen just blown up on 3rd down. Never really had a chance. All he could do was throw it away.
All right, here's Logan Lupo, who had a disastrous punting debut a week ago against Western Kentucky. Dropped a wet ball in the first possession, set up Hilltoppers at the 1-yard line, had one blocked later in the game, so it's a big relief for Louisville fans that he gets a nice punt away, and the fair catch made back at the 13-yard line by Pope. King and the Canes back to work, up 4 midway first quarter here in Louisville. High above us, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. The best part of every kickoff is the drive that comes next to go further with Goodyear. More driven. I want to salute Fast Eddie Ogden. This guy's a legend. Airship PR specialist and historian, 43 years in airship operations, retiring.
Wish Eddie all the best.
Every angle, that Miami 75-yard drive was impressive. Can they back it up here into the middle? Donald Chaney, one of the true freshman running backs, top runner in Dade County a year ago, and an impressive opener. He's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
Kind of excited to see what Miami does after that impressive drive, the last drive that they had. Derek King spreading the ball around. He had 5 different completions now, 5 different receivers. And he was in command in that second drive of the game for the Miami offense.
Chaney motions out for receiver look. And they're going to take a shot to the running back downfield and overshot. Looks like some confusion as the young running back kind of broke the route off late.
Yeah, I don't think he ever saw the football. I don't think he ever was sensing the ball was coming to him. He had a one-on-one matchup. He was isolated. King had time. I'm not sure what the ball was actually thrown right where it needs to be. Again, he's a true freshman.
He looked like a sprinter running down the field, but he forgot the football.
Yeah,
the other part of it.
Ball was thrown over his outside shoulder. He forgot the ball.
See it. So 3rd and 9. And Louisville a chance to get the Canes off the field and perhaps get nice field position. Harris back in the game as the back. And there's a throw over the middle. It's caught by Mallory, who just scored the touchdown, and the tight end is off and running. There's a flag down at the line of scrimmage. The tight end is still rumbling way down inside the red zone. But there was a whistle that was hard to hear, believe it or not, even with 12,000 here, right near the snap. Diaz a little confused. It's going to come back. Impressive nonetheless by the tight end.
Yeah, boy, they have two really good tight ends. People forget about Will Mallory. He has the size and the speed. You can see what he can do.
Do you believe he, like Jordan, has an NFL future? He's from Jacksonville. Looks the part.
Yeah, the umpire made that call pretty quickly. Yeah.
Offense, number 51.
We got DJ Scaife, the right guard. He must have literally just moved his hand. The umpire was staring in at that offensive line because you didn't see his shoulder. You didn't see much of his body move. 51. It had to be a hand twitch or a hand movement because there was not a whole lot of movement from his body at all.
Nullifies a 74-yard gain and makes it 3rd and 14. King fires long throw to Pope, who makes the catch, slips a tackle, step out of bounds, but they convert the 3rd and long to the junior from Miami.
But when you rush 3 and you drop 8, you're relying on the coverage to make the quarterback hold the football. He's got time. And you'd think that he wouldn't have anywhere to go, but there are big holes on that right side of coverage.
Catch your breath because they're often playing fast after the big play. And it's a completion out there to Mike Harley, his first catch of the night. This is so tough for a defense. They thought they were going to get off the field.
I'm just going to warn Billy Bonnell, our producer, if Rhett Lashley gets a first down, get ready because it's Indy tempo and they are flying up to the line of scrimmage.
Warn Brian Brown's defense, more importantly. Harris breaks a tackle. This is a defense that looks a little shell-shocked. They had the Canes backed up, and now Miami is moving again.
And the other thing is, in the middle of this COVID, here comes tempo again. How do you prep for this kind of tempo? It's one thing to go up against tempo. That's always a challenge in college football. But with all these restrictions and some people deciding not to tackle and maybe you tackle a little bit, now you got to deal with this tempo against De'Ara King. That's tough.
King fires again off the hands of Harley that time.
If you're a Miami Hurricane fan and you've been suffering for a long, long time, how nice is it to watch number 1 behind the center right now for you? And this system with Rhett Lashley. Honestly, I mean, I don't know if they're going to win this game. I don't know what kind of year they're going to have. It just feels different, man. It just feels right with him back there being this quarterback in this system. And I think his team has confidence, like we talked about, in this system and in this quarterback. It's a totally different feel.
Totally agree. 2nd and 10. This is a run. You cannot escape. That's a nice play. Flooding in there is Monty Montgomery.
Yeah, he does a nice job kind of knifing through in the middle of that defense. You'll watch him right in the middle. Does a good job getting around the potential block there. Nobody really accounted for him. Clark went up, but it went around him. Made it pretty easy, but they're really high on the junior, Monty Montgomery. I think he could have a great year for them.
Didn't bring pressure on the last 3rd and long, and King made him pay. Let's see what they do here. King making the adjustment. Jalen Knighton, the true freshman, is the tailback. 3rd and 11. Again, they rush 3. King has a whole lot of time to survey the field and delivers a strike to Jordan, and they move the sticks again. He is making them pay for not bringing the rush.
Yeah, how about the patience and the composure? Not feeling, look at him, watch his legs. He just works, he goes left to the right, stays calm in that pocket, makes the throw. And I'll tell you, when you put Mallory in there, they move Jordan out as a receiver.
Quick handoff, and this is Knighton. They have the leading rusher in Broward County and Dade County. They're good buddies, and this is going to be a heck of a 1-2 punch in the future years.
Yeah, they've got 3 that they're confident in. Harris, who we saw early, is more of a power back, but these 2 young freshmen are going to be really good as they grow in this offense. But, man, Jordan, again, spread out here. The tight end is more of a receiver.
There he is again. And he hurdles a tackler, dives for the pylon. They'll spot him just short. You saw the skill set right there. That's on the Mel Kiper tape already.
Watch Michael Redding in front get the block. 83 does a good job right there, just getting the defender, and then it allows Brevin Jordan to be able to go up and over. I mean, him out there in the slot, different attack as opposed to just being a tight end.
Handoff, powering to the pile, touchdown, Jalen Knighton. The first of his career. The Canes do back up the 75-yard drive with an 86-yard drive.
I'm telling you, we said it before. It's just we anticipated what he could do for this offense, and now we're watching it. Now we're getting excited watching this offense with Rhett Lashley, the tempo, how many different formations there are. The defense doesn't know if it's coming or going, and then you got a quarterback back there that has composure and poise and been there and done that kind of an attitude, and the team is feeding off of that confidence that he exudes.
The young man nicknamed the Rooster, Knighton, caps off the drive. And Miami, an electric first quarter after an opening drive of missteps. 2 great drives.
Yeah, this is, again, get the ball out to Jordan where he's, again, it's a tight end going up in the air like that over a defender. And show you the progressive pylon cam to see if he's able to extend and see how close he came to getting that ball into the end zone.
Came very close to the pylon cam.
He did.
And here's the touch. Excellent patience. He kind of works his way through the line. You're right. 3 good tailbacks and a very dynamic leader at quarterback.
Yeah. And keep in mind, they converted 2 third down and longs there.
Yep.
They're back deep in their own area. 3rd and 14 when they rushed 3 and dropped 8. He had no problem. He found that. And then a 3rd and 11. They converted on that. They were able to convert both third downs to keep that drive alive and punch that into the end zone. Louisville needs to respond now here in this game.
Yeah, more dynamic plays for the passing game in the first quarter than Miami had in all of the opener. It was all about the running game, and already we've seen a much sharper attack. King with a 9 for 11 start, 121.
Great shot there from Dimov, just showing some of the energy that he brings to the sideline down there. Just, again, kind of that infectious personality. Talking about a guy that, you know, he played so many games in Houston.
You're right, though. Louisville, after jumping out to a 3-0 lead, an impressive opening drive, stalled, settled for 3, now finds himself in an 11-point hole with the defense that looked like it's going to have its hands full all night again.
Yeah, they are. They are. I mean, you know, and I think they're doing a good job trying to adjust as quickly as they can. But at the end of the day, they've got to do a good job like they did in that first drive of getting pressure and getting after De'Aaron King. And the answer to me with Rhett Lashley is get the ball out of De'Aaron King's hands quickly with a lot of different looks, put a lot of pressure on Louisville's defense. Now we'll see if Cunningham can get them going.
Just 2 for 5, 10 yards for this dual threat quarterback. Hassan Hall is the back. They hand it to Tutu Atwell. You see the acceleration. One of the fastest men in college football. He's beefed up to 160, but it's all about the jets.
It is. It's just about getting him in space. They've motioned him on that jet look and faked it to him, just using him more as a decoy a number of times. They finally, this time, get it to him. He's fun to watch with the ball in his hands.
He said he was always the fastest kid. He was undefeated in tag.
Oh, you imagine?
You could not catch him.
He had no chance.
Cunningham surveys the field, fires downfield, and the catch is made by Fitzpatrick, who slips his defender and moves the ball to the 46 of Miami.
Yeah, that time Tutu Atwell is in the left flat, so the defensive back, the corner, is concerned about him, so he comes up. When he comes up, look at that nice hole right over top of his head that Malik Cunningham is able to find. So he just read Al Blades that time. If he sat back, he would have thrown it to Tutu, but Tutu's so dangerous. Al Blades came up. Good read.
Hawkins. Second, that's Hassan Hall. Hall went down and visited Hawkins in Florida in this weird off-season, and they ran in the heat of Florida sand dunes. Now, that is some tough training. You got to get creative, right, this off-season?
That's what you do, don't you, down there? You live down in Florida.
Not with my old knees. You do not catch me running in sand dunes. Final seconds of the first quarter. Louisville on the move here. Let's see if they snap it before the quarter. handoff. Hall picks his way. Hard hit. Ball came out. He was out of bounds before that with 1 second to play in the quarter.
He got hit when he went over to that sideline.
And that'll be the final play of the first quarter. Cardinals trying to cut into an 11-point Miami lead. A couple of very long, impressive touchdown drives engineered by De'Aaron King. End of one here at Cardinal Stadium. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station. Time for the second quarter. Saturday Night Football on ABC. Presented by Capital One, part of Marathon Conference Kickoff. ACC opener for both teams. And the Cardinals need 3 on third down to begin the quarter. And the handoff is to Hall, and he's going to be stopped short of the marker by that Canes defense.
That's a great play by Zach McLeod there. You know they're going to go to that outside stretch play. That's their bread and butter, especially on third down when they need those yards. But Zach McLeod got off of a block and then got to the ball carrier.
So a decision for Satterfield. It's a full yard. And actually, they want to bring the change. Louisville is saying, wait a second, let's measure this. I'm convinced that it wasn't the first down where the ball was spotted.
It looks like
bring the chains all the way over.
It's like about half a yard.
The line to make there.
Watch McLeod, 53, gets off of this block, boom, into the backfield. He doesn't make that play. That's easily a first down.
Guy playing on his 46th game, one of the senior leaders of that defense. Closer than we were led to believe. So it's about a few lengths of a chain. Easy decision here on fourth down now?
Yeah, absolutely. With the way Miami's offense has been executing, beginning of the second quarter, down 14-3. Yeah, you got to go for this.
See where they'll run. It's been tough to get to the edge in this Canes defense. We've got Javian Hawkins, who's 196, but a powerful running back. And does Cunningham keep it himself? Hawkins is lined up 8 yards behind the line. They need just inches here. They feed it to him, and he hurdles for a first down. Test to the middle with success that time.
Good job by the offensive line. You know those backers are flying downhill. Defensive line pinching. Still able to easily pick up that first down. Wouldn't be surprised here after picking up a 4th and short. Give Cunningham the football. See if he can attack downfield. Try to find a matchup, a one-on-one matchup. Maybe they can get the ball. Try to stretch them down the field vertically a little bit.
Isaac Martin, a tight end, number 41, is in the backfield as a protector. And it's an option pitch. Hawkins runs right into a tackler. That holding his ground was your guy, McLeod again.
Yeah. What an incredible advantage it is when you play as many games as Zach McLeod has played. You know, sometimes in the college game when you and I are doing games, you just see linebackers. They look at a formation. They look at where the ball, what hash it's on, the down and the distance. You know, how much pressure an offensive lineman has on his hand. They'll start calling out the plays to the defense. McLeod just seems to be a step ahead of everybody in that run game.
Off the play action, Cunningham fires complete into the secondary, and Justin Marshall, kind of the quiet member of this playmaking core, has a first down in the red zone.
Go play action. Get that defense to freeze just enough and can see the location of that football. He gets it away from the defender, the corner. Couch pulls him back into the inside, and Marshall's a good-looking receiver at 6'3", about 213 pounds.
On a lot of teams, he could be a featured guy. He's that talented. First down, and into heavy traffic. Hawkins is knocked down after about a 2-yard gain. Bubba Bolden, one of those excellent safeties you talked about, the junior from Vegas.
Yep.
Go Nesta Silvera in there, the 300-pounder. Don't forget about the interior guys on this defensive line. The hype goes to the pass rushers, but Silvera, Jonathan Ford, they got depth in there as well.
They have size and quickness. You can see them on that stretch play. And they've been challenged all week to try to chase that down from the inside out in case there's a cutback.
Hassan Hall in a tailback, and that time Miami defensive line wins again. Jonathan Ford, that starting defensive tackle, plugged it up. It'll be 3rd and long.
Right on cue. You just talked about Silvera and also Ford kind of holding the point. And not only that, you've got the safeties and the backers coming downhill and trying to fill those gaps. Gets Cunningham now to a 3rd and 7 situation.
And they tested the middle a couple of times without success as they've gotten in close. They need 7, not 3, with the way this game's going.
Remember, his feet also a factor down here. This has been an interesting call by the officials because the right tackle was leaning, but Phillips jumped.
Both guys are pointing at the other guy.
Yeah.
Offside. Defense. Calls the offensive trying to move. Penalties have to miss the goal. 3rd down.
It's on to Phillips, who caused the tackle to flinch. You can't do that. Makes it a much more manageable 3rd down now.
Watch Phillips. Watch Phillips. See that lean, that upper body lean? That's what made Phillips jump, and that's why he started the point. He's like, I'm in your head. I'm in your head, kid.
Those are some mind games between the tackles and the pass rushers tonight. Keep an eye on that.
Now it's 3rd and a big difference. 3rd and 2 or 3 here.
3 tight ends in the ball game. Off play action. Cunningham slings into the end zone, but it's incomplete. Tried to get it to Ian Pfeiffer, the tight end who has 3 career catches, all 3 for touchdowns, but not a connection there.
Sometimes when a guy's that open, you short arm it. You know, he's working to the back, and watch how he comes off to the edge here. That's a touchdown. He just kind of short arms the ball. He's wide open. He throws that to the back corner. It's an easy touchdown.
Pfeiffer says, come on, I was going to be 4 for 4 for my career. The former Vandy guard.
Offensive
lineman with the Commodores. So Cunningham, a disappointing end for him to a 71-yard, 11-play drive. We'll have to settle for the chip shot attempt from James Turner. Miami, touchdowns on their 2 long drives. Louisville field goals, 14-6 Canes. The city of Louisville has been a very uneasy, frankly dangerous place lately. It's been one of the focal points of the protests against racial injustice since the killing of Breonna Taylor by police in March. The city settled a $12 million wrongful death lawsuit with her family this week. Breonna Taylor was remembered around town in various murals and artwork. Justice for Breonna, signs that you see. And it's made this Louisville football team far more aware than most programs are of the causes of racial injustice. They've come up with several initiatives, several Louisville players saying it's really important to them, and they've got big plans to continue unity, justice movement throughout the rest of the season. Pope back deep to receive the kickoff. 71-yard drive producing only 3, and the kickoff out of bounds will set Miami up at good field position. Sunday countdown, 10 o'clock Eastern time. Ahead of Tom Brady's first home game as a Buccaneer. Now his arrival in Tampa included an accidental home invasion. Randy Moss ranks this week's best college football catches. And that who got Moss in his view. Sunday NFL countdown tomorrow morning, 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Something to watch in this game. Always talk about how important red zone is in college football. You're going to give up some yards, but how do you do in the red zone? Are you stopping people? Miami tonight, twice in the red zone, a couple of scores. Louisville, they've had their chances. They've been down there. They've just only been able to come away with 2 field goals, have not gotten into the end zone.
Cardinals defense reeling a bit after Miami's last 2 touchdown drives, and this time they get after Cameron Harris, and he's dropped behind the line. Flooding in there, nice play by Nick Okeke.
Yeah, nice job also of the call that time by Brian Brown. He slants his defensive line. He moves them a lot, just trying to occupy those offensive linemen and get those linebackers flying, and that time it worked out well.
Even after a 2-yard loss, they play quickly, and there's a beautiful throw, and the catch made down in Louisville territory. Harley just got the foot down. King is so accurate on the run.
Chris, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me with this throw to his left? Watch this, and there's a late hit into the sideline of Louisville. The ball is thrown perfect location. Harley, nice job of getting his feet down. It's 1 down and 2 down, getting ready for Sundays next year. But I tell you, the throw that time by De'Aaron King, rolling to his left and throwing over top of defenders.
Personal foul. Defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty. Added to the end of the run.
That's a frustration penalty. Yeast is one of their leaders, one of the veteran guys in that defense, but throws like that, I mean, he's so good on the run.
Yeah, and by the way, he's got big offensive lineman John Campbell, who's 6'5", right in his face, and he had to go over top of his own tackle, and then to be able to put it up in the air and drop it down like that to Harley.
Look at a throw again on first down. They come after him a little bit. A looping throw, jump ball incomplete, trying to get the ball to Pope, and that was Anthony Johnson in coverage. Well, the Hurricanes passing game, Kirk, has come alive tonight. It was all about the run in the opener. It's a dynamic difference tonight.
Yeah, they are, I think, an offense right now that's feeling good. And Chris, I think they are sensing right now they've got Louisville on the ropes defensively. That's why they're big pass, 15-yard penalty. They turn right around and take a shot to the end zone.
Looking to get the ball out quickly, and now tries to scramble and make a play on the move. Surveys the field. Sideline route incomplete. Pope came back to the ball, couldn't quite collect it. It'll be 3rd and 10. They've converted a couple of 3rd and longs tonight. So what do you do if you're Brian Brown in the defense this time?
Well, I think you've got to try to get some pressure on him. You've got to contain him, obviously, but you've got to try to give a look, confuse that offensive line.
They do come after him, and they force a high throw. D. Wiggins was open crossing, but Thurman Gathers to the linebacker, got in the quarterback's face. It's 4th down.
Yeah, they did a good job of just kind of showing one look and then going to another. They got pressure with a twist and eventually got to him. And one of the rare times in the last few drives they've been able to get him to get the ball out of his hands before he was ready to.
Going to see one of the big areas of improvement besides the quarterback, and that's the kicker. Borregales, we talked about his success at FIU, was good from 60 in pregame warm-up. He kicks kind of a line drive ball, but tremendous leg strength. This from 47, left hash, drives it right through. Manny Diaz said he's a game changer. They struggled mightily last year in close games. Field goals cost them a few victories. They love the guy they've got now. So the quarterback, the kicker, some new faces in Miami. Transfers have been good to this program in the offseason, and now they've got an 11-point lead.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by Pacific Life. More than 150 years strong. Trust in your tomorrow. And Ford, built Ford proud.
Heisman Trophy winner, unanimous NFL MVP last year. Repping Louisville on game day, getting set for the game against the Texans. No doubt watching. I'll never forget Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson, that duel down in Death Valley. Deshaun and Clemson got the win, but Lamar was unbelievable. Cardinals came like a play or two short.
Second half. Yeah, James Quick got the ball late and just came up a little bit short. You'll never forget that. I think that was a great one. I'll never forget standing right here and watching Lamar do what he did to the Florida State defense. Florida State's defense. That was an athletic defense. He made him look like a high school team.
Kickoff again, driven to the end zone. The Bear in his alternate den this year, but he's back with the Affleck trivia question. They're going to be gentle with us in opening night for us?
Of course not, but it's going to involve that game that Kirk just mentioned nearly 4 years ago today. Louisville put that 63-20 loss on then number 2 Florida State. That 43-point loss is the 3rd largest margin of defeat for a top 3 team in AP poll history. And tonight's Affleck trivia question is, what is the largest margin of defeat for for an AP top 3 team, and the two teams involved in the game. So more of a fact than a trivia question.
Are you counting postseason games too?
Absolutely.
With the Fiesta Bowl 62-24 Nebraska over Florida, would that be a nominee?
That would be a nominee. Not the answer, but a nominee.
Louisville now down 11, back to work, hoping to reach the end zone with this drive, and nice first down carry by Hawkins to move the sticks.
Important for them to just kind of stick to their guns, obviously. And we got 10 minutes to go in the second quarter. There's a long way to go in this game. One thing I would say, though, and I thought about it earlier with Tutu Atwell has been coming in that jet motion. They got to him one time the whole game so far. I mean, you would think coming in, I would have told you Tutu Atwell, they're going to find unique ways to get him the ball in space. That's not been the case so far.
Off the play action, Cunningham retreats, and he'll be sacked. So second and short, it's a huge loss. And that's Jared Harrison Hunt.
Well, there was good pressure from the outside as well. You'll see Cam Williams, 22, right there, almost gets to him. It forces him to step up to the inside. And then there's Harrison Hunt, who's in there as well. So this Miami defensive line, that time they didn't blitz. Rushed 4, got pressure from the outside from Williams, the freshman, and then eventually Harrison Hunt cleans it up.
Here's a DN. They move inside on their third down rush package. So very athletic front, the Hurricanes, and they are imposing their will. And now it's 3rd and 14. And Cunningham escapes. He's got a lot of room. Can he get there? No, he's knocked down. Is flying up to make a nice open field tackle. There was Corey Couch to save the first down.
Well, that is a good job of pulling it down and going by Cunningham. Once he pulls it down, look at all that turf, and that's a tough tackle right there in the open field by Couch. But he goes down, gets just enough of Cunningham to keep him short of that first down because he was closing in on it in a hurry.
It's painful for the Cardinals. They get 8 yards in that first down run. They call a pass play. The sack backs them way up, and now it's a 3 and out with Lupo on the punt. And King is going to go back to work, trying to stretch this lead now. It's a high and very short kick. Hope comes up into traffic, makes the fair catch at the 39. This is a 31-yard punt. And here comes a Mr. King and the Canes offense. All right, Kevin, thank you. King flips the ball incomplete. Brevin Jordan was coming across open, and has one of the first miscues for King tonight. Not a good throw.
He got some pressure right in his face. I think it looked like Burns got in there pretty quickly. We continue to see Brevin Jordan moved around in this new Rhett Lashley offense. Motioning him around, putting him in that slot. He's to the slot to the right now at King.
It's a straight run, and a diminutive quarterback. We'll give him 5'10". Maybe he's 5'9.5". Doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't.
Plays big.
And not only that, he can run enough to make you have to appreciate it and respect it. You get numbers when you run the quarterback, and it makes those backers and safeties always have to be aware, and that creates more of those one-on-one matchups that you can exploit.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see a scramble at some point this evening. He hurt UAB big to 87 yards on scrambles in the opener. He needs 7. Officially 6 on third down, and from the pocket delivers, and there's Jordan again. It's a matchup problem. First down at the Louisville 45.
So it's a nice job of feeling that he's got some pressure from his left, and he knows right away to get the ball to Brevin Jordan. Doesn't need a huge play, doesn't try to do too much, and they go tempo right off of that first down.
Stack receivers to the left is Mallory, the tight end, who was having that knee wrapped earlier. He was in there as a blocker, and the catch is made by Wiggins. Short gain.
Jordan right now leading the Canes in receptions on the night. Again, they moved him from the left here. Now they move him all the way out to the right.
Donald Chaney is taking his turn, and this freshman is spun around, gained about a yard to the 40. It'll be 3rd and 5. And all 12,000 here trying to urge this defense on. Already down 11. Miami has scored in each of its last 3 possessions and threatening again if they can convert this third down.
You know what makes it tough to defend this passing game? It's not like they just have one guy. I mean, Jordan's having a good night, but he's throwing it to everybody.
Louisville backs off, rushes just 3. King again has lots of time. Now he's flushed and fires incomplete on the sideline. So they didn't blitz him, but the protection broke down anyway, and that's a win for the Cardinals defense finally.
Yeah, eventually it looks like Peterson, 29, gets in there from the middle, flushes him out. His receiver actually fell down on his route, but give Louisville credit. A good job in coverage and a good job of that time getting after D'Eriq King, forcing him out of the pocket, and he had nothing to do but to throw that ball away.
Well, you said that Borregales, their new kicker, has range, and he was making him from 60 in the warm-up, but this is a reflection of the confidence that Diaz has in this guy, because they are setting up for a field goal. It's going to be about 56.
It's exciting.
In his career, by the way, 50-plus. He's made 3 out of 4.
Yeah, last year 3 out of 4, as long as 53, so he's got the leg.
He was part of an FIU victory over Miami.
But I just find it interesting, Manny Diaz, that he does show a lot of confidence, because if he doesn't make this, pretty good field position for Cunningham and the Louisville offense. It's a bomb.
Cardinals are now going to send somebody back to potentially return a miss.
They're sending Burns back.
Here we go. It's been an impressive start. They figure, all right, new guy. Chance to flash the leg. Can he drive one through from 56?
Oh, wow. How about,
are you kidding me?
How about 65 plus?
I mean,
how about his reaction, Chris?
They're giddy about the quarterback. They're almost as giddy about the kicker.
Did you see him after he hit it?
I got it. Borregales, new school record. You talk about confidence in your mechanics. I told you he kicks a line drive, drives it from 57 with power, goes in the net, and then the nonchalance here. Look at the reaction.
Yeah, he's like, I mean,
give me a challenge here.
What do you expect? By the way, any kicker that shows up, tatted up, eye black, he's confident.
I mean, Diaz over the moon. So are you kidding me? After what we had last year, all those close losses, he announced how confident he was in Borregales, and it moved Jose's mom so much she just burst into tears. Her son is living his dream. He wanted to kick for the Canes out of high school, took a detour to FIU. All right, Mr. Faliki, your alma mater has a quarterback and a kicker, and you've got the answer to the Affleck trivia question.
It's refreshing to see. I'm sure Alice and I are excited about that. We asked tonight. We asked the Affleck trivia question tonight. The largest margin of defeat for an AP top 3 team and who were involved in that game. Got to go back to 1945.
Of course.
It was a 1-versus-2 game between Army and Notre Dame. Remember the 44 game, then the 45 game. So great. The
pollsters were new back then. It only been around about 7 years, I think. They didn't know
38, right?
Yeah, 38.
37?
Hawkins, a nice run again. They've had success with the running game, and he's shoved that out of bounds near the marker on the far side.
Yeah, they're not going to go away from the stretch play. And again, that's their identity, especially with Hawkins. He runs it so well, physical. That time he had some nice blocking. He can show you he can get upfield in a hurry when he's given a chance. But they've got to be able to stretch, get their running game going, and then go to play action, because the defensive line against this offensive line, it's a mismatch. It's favoring the Canes, not only on the edges, but in the middle.
Hawkins again. Physical run. They move the sticks. You know, talking about a guy like Cunningham, one of the best deep ball throwers in the country last year. Just tremendous success. 10 touchdowns on deep balls last year.
Yeah.
Big number.
And I think he came to Louisville really talented in that area. The area that he's tried to continue to improve is just continue to become more consistent with his short to intermediate passing.
Tutu Atwell slot left. We're keeping an eye on him. Can they get him the touches? Use that speed. Hawkins, an effective catch and run, and the Cardinals have moved into Miami territory. Another first down.
Kind of a condensed look. They tightened in the coverage, the Miami defense, and then they slipped Hawkins out of the backfield, and nobody picked him up. Really nice, nicely designed play there by Louisville and Scott Satterfield. I like that, mixing in that condensed look, something they've not shown too much of tonight in their passing game.
Atwell, just one reception so far. Try to run it with Hassan Hall to the near side and strung out. Allison?
Chris, one improvement that coaches saw from Malik Cunningham this year is his command of the offense and his leadership. He has really found his voice, and I've seen it down here on the sideline. After those drives where they had to settle for field goals, he was pretty vocal with guys, letting them know that wasn't going to be enough, and that's been a huge step and a huge development for him as a quarterback, is really becoming a leader on this team.
And you're right, but those leadership skills, they come into play right now. Because you're down 14 and your defense is really struggling. And they make something of this drive. They get Tutu Atwell, and that's a very, very nice tackle in space by Bubba Bolden before the speedster could really get going.
That's a tough ask right there by Bubba Bolden. Even though he is rangy and athletic, this is exactly what Louisville wants, a zone pressure. They call the perfect play to get Atwell the ball out there where he's got a little bit of wiggle room. And if it weren't for Bolden and his ability to close the ground there, that's easily a first down.
Need 4 on 3rd. Cunningham in the flat. Catch made. Tackle made very quickly by Bolden again. And they're short by 3 yards now. 4th down.
You can see Bolden. I mean, one of the first things that you see when you watch film of him is how much range he has. And keep in mind, he's 6'3", 200 pounds. He's played a lot of football, so he's able to see things. I just love how he's fundamentally sound, wrapping up there, keeping Louisville short of the first.
Canes running guys off of the field here. Still some confusion. They got to spend a timeout.
Yeah. But keep in mind, Louisville had a substitution. Yep. So it allows the Canes to take as much time as they need. I think they were confused with the call.
Exactly. And this is an important play. You know, Louisville trying to cut into the lead. They're going to get the ball to begin the second half. But clearly Miami has put points on the board in each of their last 4 drives. Kings got it going. They haven't found the end zone yet. This feels like an important 4th down and 3 play for them.
It is, and you know, it's one thing to move the ball. You get into plus territory, and I think things obviously become tighter. You got to have quicker decisions from Cunningham at quarterback, and the defense, the receivers got to do a better job of getting some separation, because in these first times that they've had the ball in the plus territory, they, as you said, they've been only kicking field goals. And at this point, 20-6, the way King and that offense from Miami's playing, They need to get the ball in the end zone.
We talked about the newcomers impressing at quarterback and kicker. Folks, Jalen Phillips, I know he came in with a lot of hype, but it is more than justified. Number 15 on the edge for the Canes is a monster out there.
Keep in mind when you watch him that he's 6'5", 266 pounds. And if you don't know his story, he started at UCLA. His first couple years had a lot of injuries. In fact, a concussion at 18. And he sat out all of 19, contemplating giving up the game, ends up coming to Miami, and you can see it's changed his life. He's playing with a newfound confidence and attitude.
On 4th down, on cue, that Miami defensive line swarms in there. Bradley Jennings, the middle backer who missed all of last year with hip surgery, made the tackle.
Yeah, and watch the tight end Ford try to block him. I mean, he's getting pushed right back into the backfield. And the rest of that Miami defense is able to get in there. Bradley Jennings, 44. See, his eyes are in the backfield right away. He sees play action, but he doesn't slow down. Gets in and eventually brings him down. But Manny Diaz that time and Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator, they dialed up pressure and just blew up the line of scrimmage on the edges and shot through the middle and hit those gaps.
Haven't seen the turnover chain yet in 2020, but Miami tackles for loss, also one of the best teams in the country in that department. And now King back to work, and another penalty on the offensive line as Campbell backed out of his chance very quickly.
I know they didn't.
Offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, first down.
I know they officially don't get a chance to bring out the turnover chain, but that feels like a turnover, right? On 4th and 3. I mean,
good point.
With Louisville driving and having a chance to maybe try to get some points, they get a stop on 4th and 3.
King on 1st down, fires, and the ball is dropped over there. He was so wide open. Pope just waiting for the football and flat out dropped it.
And with Pope, I don't know if Anthony Johnson, 27, went up in the air, and I don't think he touched the ball. He doesn't really do a good job of putting hands on him to slow him down on his route. There's a nice hole right behind him, and I think Pope just lost his focus there.
Good point. He got distracted.
Yeah, I think maybe anticipating the ball being tipped, but it came clean.
So, missed chance at a big play, and now a keeper, and King off and running. Flags coming in where the block was thrown. They might have gotten Campbell in another penalty.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a hold, but there you see it again. King, they're not afraid to run him on that zone read game, and you collapse down on the back, he's going to pull it and run, but I think they're going to have a hold and bring it back.
The big tackle was out in space. See if they
John Campbell
targeted him. Yep.
Holding. Offense, number 74. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
He grabs a hold, easy. for the officials to see that.
Penalties have been the one thing that Manny Diaz would not really be pleased about in this first half. They've had 6 of them. The offensive line has been guilty of the 4 or 5 of those. So it's 2nd and 21.
Yeah, they've self-destructed. It's been one of the few times that King has been slowed down is when they've had penalties and pushed themselves back way behind the sticks.
With the play action, Harris is trying to make something of it, but Miami, after the drop and the penalties, messing up a chance to add to this lead.
I thought they might call a tackle. I thought they'd call a timeout there. They have 3 timeouts. It's a 3rd and forever. Are they calling a timeout?
Maybe they're just content to just end the possession. And
timeout. Louisville.
Yeah, Louisville's spent the timeout.
That's what I was saying.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was saying Louisville.
30-second timeout.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Diaz will spend one.
No. I'm saying Scott Satterfield should spend one because 3rd down and very, very long. They've got a chance to get a stop here and get the football back.
Well, this Louisville defense needed the breaks that Miami's offense just gave them off the 4th down stop.
There's some chirping going on that's been a little excessive here. There's a flag on the field, and I think a Miami player, looked like DJ Scaife, grabbed the Louisville player by the leg and just kind of pulled him out of the pile.
Well, Harris was on the ground. I don't think that the lineman enjoyed.
Against the offense, number 51.
Yeah, you can't do that. He grabbed the leg of Goldwire, but they were kind of laying on top of Harris a little bit after the tackle.
For me, it's been building the whole half. You know, if you really watch the game, and I'd love to ask Bill this, because I always felt as a player that if the officials don't take control of the game, the players continue to get away with stuff. Eventually, they'll police it. Bill, how do you feel about that when there's a lot of chirping going on both sides? How do you control that?
There's 2 things you have to do. You have to have physical presence with the verbal to the players, but you also have to get the message to the coach. Now you can take the argument away if the coach doesn't correct it. Hey, it's really a foul on the coach if he doesn't get his team under control. So it's physical presence,
especially when it goes on and on. You know, when you see an entire half of it, some point you got to talk to the coaches or the captains.
Well, Diaz will be displeased with how his team is trying to finish off this half. The drop by Pope, they would have been threatening to add to a 14-point lead. The penalties, and now that 15-yarder makes it 3rd and 34.
He's going to run the ball, make them use another timeout.
Being knocked down, but even Burns on the tackle. Louisville has a chance to have decent field position, even though Headley is a heck of a punter here. As they try to cut into the lead, they'll get the ball again to begin the 3rd quarter. Tomorrow afternoon on ESPN, Major League Baseball doubleheader. The Giants and the A's. Bay Area rivals at 4 o'clock Eastern time. And Sunday night baseball from Wrigley Field as the Cubs host Nelson Cruz and the Twins at 7 Eastern. Also on ESPN Deportes and streaming live on the ESPN app. Incredible time. Unprecedented busy calendar in sports. Canes fans are also Miami Heat fans, so we're trying to keep you abreast there. Celtics desperate for a win. Heat up 2-0 in the series. Boston has a lead at the end of the 1st quarter. We'll keep you posted as you watch your favorite football team.
You fired up about the Heat? I know you spend a lot of time down in Miami. You a big NBA guy?
I like the NBA. I love the NBA playoffs. I'm a Bulls guy from birth, but yeah, the Heat are a tremendous team.
I spent time in Chicago. I mean, were you a Bulls fan pre-Jordan?
Yeah, I grew up.
Wow, that's a Bulls fan.
Bob Butterbean Love, Chet Walker.
You're official.
Go back to the early 70s. Headley drives a low punt. Oh, not his best. They rough him.
Yeah.
He rolled out, and the Aussie rules football player got roughed up, and that's a costly penalty.
It's a roughing to me. I don't think it was running into the punter. It looked like he hit him pretty good.
That's a genuine limp by the big fella?
I don't know about that, but that's always for effect.
Oh, my goodness. And Miami is going to now keep the ball, and so much for Louisville having a chance to get the ball back. He's in the air when contact is made, and is typically a personal foul. It's tough when you have the rugby punters moving out. You have to be much more conscious of where they are.
The call, Bill, on the field is running into the kicker. So I think that's why there's a discussion here about what they might want to do.
Of course, that is not an automatic first down.
No. I thought it might. I thought it'd be roughing.
Team, that penalty's declined. First down, Louisville.
Okay, so it's not a personal foul. Bill, what's your take on the 5-yarder versus the 15 yards, the automatic first down?
If you just go by the fact he ran into the kicking leg, then there's something to hang your hat on. But that was pretty forcible contact that I would have preferred to support a 15-yarder for a personal foul roughing a kicker.
I thought it would have been that. So Louisville catches a break. They get the ball back to Malik Cunningham and have a little bit of time to work with a timeout still remaining.
Cardinals with 1:59, 1 timeout.
Again, we talk a lot about Tutu Outwell, but you also have Dez Fitzpatrick, 7, who can make plays in this situation as well. Both are off to the right.
Cardinals have yet to really strike deep into the heart of Miami's defense. This would be a time to do it. They throw underneath to Fitzpatrick. He's got a big cushion, knocked out across the 40. It'll be a first down.
You're right. With that cushion, they'll take that. You're just giving them yards.
Kevin Nagani, Mark Sanchez, and Booger McFarland. The Dish halftime report coming up. Highlights from around the country today.
As bad as this first half has felt for Louisville, they somehow drive this field and get a touchdown. Pull with 20-13, go in at halftime. Feel a lot better about where they are at halftime. Could have been a lot worse.
They bring pressure, completion across the middle. And that's Marshawn Ford. The tight ends are usually a big part of the offense. He's finally gotten involved. They move into Miami territory now. Do not use their timeout. And the clock will be wound and start with 1:45 in the half. Cunningham running that 2-minute drill finds Atwell, his second catch, a short gain to the 44.
Cunningham looks very comfortable here in these first 3 throws. The second play, the linebackers came. He sat in there, had time, and took advantage of those blitzing linebackers, threw it right over the middle where they had blitzed from. And again, a little cushion. He's just trying to take anything that's going to be given to him. He's using his eyes and finding the soft spots in the zones.
Year 2 in the offense, Cunningham, a real command. He used the offseason, spent a lot of time on the iPad, and you can notice a difference from year 1. But he's chased again and fires and throws an interception. Under pressure, Al Blades Jr. was coming across and got in the way, and we're going to see the first appearance in 2020 of the turnover chain, and it's the Canes legacy corner who's going to wear it around his neck.
That's pretty fitting, isn't it, for Al Blades to be able to pull the turnover chain out first time in 2020?
Now, the offense has the touchdown rings in the state of Florida there. A.J. Machado, the jeweler down in Miami, has gone to work. You got to put the mask on before you put the chain on these days. And there it is. And that is big because it took away the chance for the Cardinals to cut into the lead. In the 3 years of the chain before this year, 76 takeaways. That's tied for the most of all Power 5 teams with Wisconsin. Coincidence or not?
You know, there have been a lot of different teams, I think, that have played off of their turnover chain, but I think theirs got the most attention. And how about the play, the closing speed by Al Blades, who was in man-to-man coverage, had to work all the way across the field, and just a really poor decision by Cunningham in a 2-minute. Just throw that football away.
King on the keeper is trapped. I just got done praising his command to the offense.
As soon as he threw it, I just went, ugh, throw it away.
I think you could feel, though, the urgency of this offense, knowing their defense is having a heck of a time stopping the other guys. And it feels like every possession, they got to do something.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Sometimes when you look across the field and you see a quarterback in an offense that's been effective and you're down, you've dug yourself a hole, you do feel like you need to press a bit.
I know it's only 14.
Trying to make a play.
You got a whole half, but they have struggled mightily. And now the Canes, they have a third down. Turning the tables here. They take a timeout. Trying to add to the lead here. And he did not want to have to spend that timeout in this situation. Lashley kind of calm down. Here's the turnover chain. They made his appearance 3 years ago. They've redesigned it, kind of retooled it every year. And it's gotten, I would say, bigger and flashier every year. They rep the 305. Now it's the whole state of Florida, Allison. So the chain in year 4, is it a thumbs up from you?
It's a thing of beauty, Chris. It really is. It's the turnover chain 4.0. And let's just say, here's a few impressive stats. It weighs 300 grams. There's 1,400 sapphire stones in the U portion of it, half green, half orange. And then the state of Florida portion has 1,900 white sapphires. That thing took 3 months to complete. And I'll tell you what, the Canes on the sidelines here could not wait to debut it. Blades Jr. is still wearing it. True 2020 fashion, though. When you wear it, you have to wear the mask, and then they wipe it down.
Allison, I didn't know you just kept it on that long. You're just going to keep it on maybe into halftime.
He's not taking it off.
Alex Devine, they call him the sheriff. He's in charge of it. He's got like this elaborate briefcase, and now time has run out. Blades has to give it back. They wipe it down. This is true 2020 protocol here. But it used to be just the 305, Kirk. Now they went like the whole state of Florida on there, sending a message.
I know. It's all about recruiting now.
So it's 4th down for Miami at the 49. Louisville at least able to prevent Miami adding to the lead. They take a timeout here. And when they go in and talk about this first half, what do you think the message is going to be, from Satterfield? And from Dwayne Ledford, who's the play caller as well on this offense. I think they've expected to have reached the end zone by now and haven't been able to do so. Twice.
You're down a couple possessions, though. I mean, it's still a game. You watch college football. Today, Navy was down 24-0 at halftime, and it looked like they couldn't do anything right. They came back and won the game. So, yeah, you obviously got to make adjustments, but I don't think it's as dire as it feels. I mean, they're down a couple possessions, and
they need that one big play to spark them.
I believe they get the ball.
Yeah, they do.
To start the second half. They deferred after winning the toss, so they'll get the ball to start the second half.
And they certainly have the guys who can change the tone of the game in one play. But Miami's defense has been very, very strong defending against those big plays. Edley's punt, fair caught down inside the 15. We'll be in South Florida. There is a small crowd allowed at Hurricane home games. Not the students, however, as the Seminoles come calling. Again, Mike Norvell, head coach of Florida State, wish him well. He's asymptomatic, but did test positive. Shocked him. His family, thankfully, did not also test positive, so he'll coach remotely this week. And the Noles will try to get it going. That loss against Georgia Tech in their conference opener.
Yeah, they did not look very good, and not the way you want to start a season with a new coach heading in hopefully a different direction. So hopefully he is okay and everybody's okay down in Tallahassee.
Atwell comes in motion to the right slot. 29 seconds to work with. And Cunningham flips it across the middle. Kind of a dangerous throw given the situation, and not much of a reward there. And let's see if they head to the locker room content. Yeah, they get the football to begin the third quarter, try to cut into this lead.
They may want to just shut it down. Miami was just sitting there waiting on him to throw that football.
You don't want to feel a shake of the head.
Yeah, you don't want to turn it over, obviously.
And they do snap it and hand it off inside, and Hall breaks free, gets a couple blocks, loses the football. The Canes have it. No time on the clock. Amari Carter is going to be tackled, so he will technically get to wear the chain, I guess, to the locker room.
Fumble on the play.
Carter with the fumble recovery, so 2 late turnovers, and now there continues to be some jawing on the far side of the field over near the Miami bench.
This has been kind of building the whole first half. Whole first half we've seen, and a lot of these guys, Louisville has their fair share of kids from Florida and guys from Miami, and so a lot of them played high school football together, and they're competitive.
Absolutely, and Louisville came out juiced up. Did not expect to be down a couple of scores at halftime. So a lot of excitement here in the first half, the end of the first half. Halftime report coming up right after these messages.
Set for the second half in Louisville. Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Capital One. This presentation of the ACC on ESPN, part of Marathon Conference Kickoff. Chris Fowler back with Kirk Herbstreit, Allison Williams. Miami on the road with a 14-point lead, and Louisville will get the football to begin the third quarter here, unable to create the kind of big plays downfield with the passing game that's been their trademark. Can they get it going here in the second half?
And I think Miami deserves a lot of credit for the decent defense that they have played. They've kept their safeties back for the most part, not letting them go downfield. They're going to have to try to get some underneath throws and maybe get a Tutu Atwell loose and yards after the catch. But you're right, they've contained them pretty well. But D'Eriq King's been a big part of this story tonight in this Miami offense. All of a sudden, they've got a confidence and a belief in themselves with him at quarterback.
158 passing yards. He did finish just 3 of his last 9, cooled off a bit as Louisville began to get the pressure going against him. Not the kind of first half Malik Cunningham wanted. They began to get the ball to Atwell, but it's very clear that the Canes are doing a good job at keeping his yards after the catch under control.
Yeah, and a lot of times they have a guy underneath Atwell and somebody over top of him. That means other receivers are going to have to make plays. But with all that being said, keep in mind the difference really in this game is the red zone. Miami's gotten down in the red zone a couple times, came away with 2 touchdowns, whereas when the Cards have gotten down in there, they've had to settle for 2 field goals.
You heard Manny Diaz talk to Allison before halftime. He was hot about the lack of discipline. 8 penalties against Miami, most of them on the offense, and I think he feels like they should have a bigger lead if they kept their cool and their focus in that second quarter. Borregales, one of the stories of the first half with those 2 field goals, including the school record 57-yarder. Here's our Pacific Life game summary. Cardinals went down. You said the red zone, they broke down, settled for 3, and then Miami got it going. 2 long touchdown drives by King.
Yeah, he's really been in sync for the most part in this game. After a first series where they got taken right out, all of a sudden Rhett Lashley put him in a position where they've gone to a lot of different formations, spread it out, ball out of his hands quickly, and he's had a great half to get this game started. But boy, this Miami defense, give them a lot of credit for the way they've shown up prepared, been aggressive. We've seen some big plays from Jalen Phillips and these linebackers as well.
It's a run to start the third quarter, and nice shifty run, breaking tackles for a first down is Hawkins.
Hawkins is averaging 5 yards a carry. You know, they keep running that stretch play. They're going to keep running the stretch play, and he's either going to bounce it outside or he's going to bend it back, which he did right there, and continue to pick up positive yards. And you would think with him doing that, the threat of that puts a lot on those safeties to have to come up and run support, and that's when you can go play action off of that, and then you can find Tutu Atwell or Des Fitzpatrick one-on-one.
It's a pass game that averaged more than 18 yards per completion last year, about half that in the first half. It's a pop pass to Atwell. He's got a couple of blocks on the edge and shows the speed, and corralled out of bounds after a short gain. Allison?
Chris, the offense was too sloppy in the first half for Louisville, according to their head coach, Scott Satterfield. The other thing that concerned him was the play of his quarterback. He said Malik Cunningham just did not look sharp in that first half. And they've got to be better on third down. They'll get a chance here, 0 for 6 in the first half and the third down. And then they got to finish drives. That was the last key point. He said we cannot be settling for field goals when we get the chance.
Absolutely.
Cunningham had a career passing day, 343 in the opener. High praise, but against this defense, not so far. Running game continues to be impressive. That'll draw a 15-yard penalty. So despite the stern lecture from Diaz at halftime, another undisciplined mistake by that Miami team.
Yep, we saw it in the first half where it was Keontre Smith made a hit on the sideline, actually on the Louisville sideline, and this time it's Amari Carter, who's a senior and a leader of this defense.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness defense. Number 5, 15-yard penalty. First down.
Not as flagrant. He was right at the sideline, but still unnecessary.
Yeah, and I think the fact he didn't slow himself up probably, and the way this, by the way, the way this game has been trending, the way we've seen a lot of kind of back and forth between these two teams verbally, maybe added to the fact that the officials, even in a gray area where it could have gone either way, they're probably going to throw that flag to continue to try to send messages about these flagrant hits.
Yeah, the force of the tackle, too. He didn't bump him. He threw the shoulder
came through
into him.
Yeah.
Moves the ball all the way to the Miami 37. Hawkins again, spinning. Stiff arm, knocks him into the ground. Another big gain. They moved the sticks on first down.
Instead of blocking Phillips, that time just read him. You know, get the zone read going, and if he collapses down, you pull it. If he stays out wide, then you hand it off, and he stays wide and gives
You know, rare inside run from Hawkins. Usually we're seeing him on the outside stretch play. This time in his own read, he finds some room to work into the middle of that Canes defense.
Hall got the hand to the throat. Hawkins shoved him to the ground and then let him know about it after the play. He's got it again, and that time tripped over a blocker. Caleb Chandler, the guard, made the tackle that time.
I just love how he reads this and feels this. You know, that play can either go outside, Chris, or bounce back to the inside. And watch him feel the offensive line, and the defensive line's working outside, so he cuts back. It's just a. You see it in the NFL a lot. See it around college football. That outside stretch play requires patience and great vision from the back.
All those things, and a lot of hunger. He runs with a little bit of violence downhill. Hawkins does. Not a big guy, 5'9", 196, but comes from the state of Florida, so probably extra inspiration taking on the U tonight.
Well, he's running hard, but that time he ran into a lot of white jerseys that were getting off of blocks and getting penetration. No matter how hard he wanted to run, he can't run through 4 white jerseys.
He's out of the game now on 3rd and 8.
Again, they're moving the ball until they get to about like the 30-yard line.
And once again, Miami, a lack of discipline. That was Quincy Roche, eager to make an impact off the edge, and now it's going to be 3rd and 3.
That's a good job of the offensive line saying, hey man, Malik, help me out. Give me a hard count. Give me something to try to slow these guys down. And that time he uses that experience and wisdom to just use that hard clap instead of the hard count. It was a clap that pulled the Canes off that time.
Roche's got a lot of experience himself, and that's the second time that on 3rd and longs, Miami has committed a penalty like that and made it much easier in this Louisville offense. They need 3 yards. Hawkins back in the game, nowhere to run, but he spins free. Hawkins has the corner. Touchdown, Louisville. What a run.
Big time.
That whole drive was Hawkins.
How about the outside stretch play? They go to it on 3rd and short, right? It's the bread and butter. It's what they've been going to. But watch how Miami takes it away. They're anticipating it. He's got nowhere to go. So instead of guiding outside, he bounces it all the way back. It gives you an idea about his vision and also how explosive he can be in pulling away from Amari Carter in this defense.
Play stations the dictam, right? He hit the spin button. He hit the juke there. He accelerated.
I think he hit all the buttons there.
Turner with the conversion, exactly what Satterfield's team needed. They find the end zone for the first time to begin the second half and cut into this Canes lead.
As you say, this is a game that felt like it was really one-sided for Miami, but give Louisville credit. Made some adjustments, came back in the second half. First possession, they get a touchdown, and we got a ball game.
Goodyear providing aerial coverage, celebrating the endless pursuit of forward momentum. Goodyear, more driven. Some momentum for the Cardinals. 20 yards of Miami penalties, aiding that 7-play, 75-yard drive in 3.5 minutes. And Javian Hawkins already over 100 yards tonight. His 9th career 100-yard game. Had 8 as a redshirt freshman and has come out running hard tonight. D'Eriq King back to work trying to get the hot hand back.
Yeah, remember the opener against UAB. A lot of people walked away from that game thinking, man, what's up with the passing game? They ran for 337 yards, but what about the passing game? Well, it takes time in a new system with a new quarterback, and the offensive line has helped him, especially in some 3rd and long situations where you can see him surveying the coverage and having enough time to be able to find the right man. And here a great throw off the play action look, gets into the big tight end Mowry for a touchdown. So Brett Lashley's put him and this offense and receivers in a much better situation. I almost feel like they were holding back against UAB compared to the look tonight with this offense.
Harris has the edge. Big fella accelerates down the sidelines to midfield. It's a foot race. Can they angle him out? Diving for the pylon. Touchdown, Miami. 75 yards. That is how you answer a long touchdown drive by the other team.
Absolutely. But let's look how they designed this play. Motion. You motion, and it takes the defensive back with him. Look who's left on the right side of that defense. Nobody. You get to the edge, there's nobody left. They had 4 receivers after they motioned him all the way to the field. They go back into the boundary where there's no defensive backs left. So a great play. Good job by Harris, but it was the design with the formation, with the motion that opened up and put Louisville's defense at a disadvantage because they just didn't have that edge set, and there was no defensive back. So a missed assignment there by the Cardinals defense.
Similar play in the opener. It was a 4th and 1 against UAB. They crowded the line, not the exact same run call, but he made one little move, 66 yards to the house. Big fella has some speed.
Yeah, he's known as a power guy, right? I mean, the freshmen, Chaney and Knighton, are known for the ability to take it to the house, but boy, Harris.
He's still gasping over there.
Harris, he can show you what he can do.
He's a progressive pylon cam, which got wiped out. He's making sure he got across.
He sees that finish line. He goes airborne.
He went big time. Kind of breaks out. You think certainly they're going to be able to angle him out. They're going to catch the big guy. They could not.
No, I don't even know what
a way to finish.
They're looking at unless there's that clearly looked like a touchdown to me. Boy, how about the answer by Miami's offense? After that big drive by Cunningham, he gets the Cardinals back within a touchdown. They're thinking, here we go, and then boom.
It's confirmed. Touchdown.
Jeff Heiser confirms the brain trust in Greensboro. ACC Command Central just checked it out, but it stands. And how about the answer? I mean, the Miami offense have been a little stagnant. Defense committing penalties. Louisville's right back in the game. Boom. One play later.
Yep.
I mean, it's.
Yep.
He's still recovering from the 75-yard run.
Exactly.
Now, if you're this Cardinals offense, you appreciate what you did the last time, but again, there's a little more urgency. Allison?
Well, we saw how excited the defense was about the turnover chain. You know, Miami also has the touchdown ring, so right, it says the crib. Well, it was offered to Cameron Harris, and he said, no, I don't want him. Give him to my offensive line. They took him over to the offensive line. They said, nope, give him to him. Brought him over to him again. He said, nope, I'm not ready to celebrate that. 75 yards, and he doesn't want to celebrate with the touchdown rings. He's all business.
That's a great
here.
report, Allison. You know what? That tells you a lot about his focus right now. It's not just about that touchdown run for him. This is a program that has suffered for a long time, man. And I think they're sensing what a lot of people watching him are sensing. This just, like we said in the first half, it just feels different. This will be great. Here you go.
You know, De'Aaron King also referred the crib rings to the offensive lineman last week.
Yeah, he said, go give him to the line.
I think he might be too tired to put him on. Part of it.
Yeah. No, honestly, man, I think, you know, Junior, been around, some highs, a lot of lows. He'll put the rings on after the end of the game, maybe.
Yeah, you're right. Manny Diaz talked about the idea that, you know, Miami expectations for the fans are so high, but they're 13-13 in the ACC, that junior class coming into this season. Hall, who's a very dangerous kickoff returner, gets out across the 27. This week, college football coming together to recognize the impactful work of great teachers and what they've been performing their essential duties against the difficult backdrop of the COVID-19 pandemic. And on behalf of the College Football Playoff and ESPN, I'd like to honor Kirsten Schwartz-Almeida, a lecturer at the University of Miami School of Education, for what she's been doing to keep kids learning. She'll receive a $1,000 Donors Choose gift card to use towards school resources for her students.
Go back to what you were saying there about Miami. You mentioned how they're 13-13, right?
Yeah.
Conference play. How about 8-14 in their last 22 against Power 5?
Absolutely. They had a positive season going, and then some guys got hurt, and they checked out mentally, and they ended the regular season with 2 losses and then got shut out in the bowl game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you're a player on this roster, you've been around for 3 years or 4 years, you know, you're hungry to get this thing going in a different direction. And you know, if they're able to win this game tonight, just being on the road, I know we don't have a huge crowd, but just on the road, away from playing in Miami, they haven't had a lot of big wins since going back to 2005.
Cunningham rolls again, the margin back at 14. He wanted to take a shot downfield, flashes the speed and sprints out a yard short of the marker at the 35.
They roll him out because obviously it gives him the option with the athletic ability to challenge the the defense downfield with his arm. Ooh, that's a rough look right there against Jalen Phillips on that block.
He was limping a bit. Now he's going to kind of trot off.
Hate to see that. He has been a force tonight off the edge. Hope he's okay.
We talked about how unlucky he's been with various injuries, and he has been off to a tremendous start for the Miami defense this year. Cunningham is chased. That was Roche, the other defensive end, who was there in a hurry. And also giving chase was Jafari Harvey.
Chris, watch this defensive end kind of slow play it here. He's reading it, and you know the tight end on the backside's trying to help him out, but there's just too many Canes. They read that quickly, the kind of that zone read look, and attacked that line of scrimmage, kept him short of the first down. But Louisville, I think, sensing the urgency of where we are in this game, looking to go for it, even though they're at their own 35-yard line.
A gamble here. Ford, the tight end in the backfield along with Hawkins, trying to draw Miami offside, and why not? Let's see if they actually run a play. Play clock down at 5. And they do run a play, and the 4th down carry is a first down. Hawkins knocked down. He was thinking about a touchdown. Just tripped up before he could take it to the house, but they do move the sticks.
Yeah, you're sitting there, the clock's down to 4, 3, 2. Are they going to snap the ball? And they do. Even, you know, Miami has nine jerseys up there close to the line of scrimmage. They've got every gap accounted for, but he breaks that arm tackle by Bradley Jennings. Again, he is tough to bring down. He's got great shake in the open field, but to me, he's just as impressive breaking through those arm tackles.
Yeah, he slipped on the cut, or he might have scored. He's got it again, running into traffic, and is shoved out of bounds near the line of scrimmage.
Well, it's good to see Jalen Phillips back out on the field. And in fact, he pushed Brown, the tackle, back into the line of scrimmage, so he is hopefully not impacted too much by going off the field. He looked pretty good on that last play.
He did. You could see the expression on his face. He was worried because the last thing he needs at this point in his career is to come with an injury early in the season, but believe that he's okay. Hall is the back on 2nd and 9. Cunningham feels the pressure, gets a downfield shot. Atwell makes a catch, and Tutu went up and got it, spun out of bounds. And finally, the Miami native makes an electric play downfield.
But he got him one-on-one against Bolden, but this is still a tough ass from the slot against the safety, Bolden. That is a long throw to a short receiver. It's got to be right on the money. Bolden didn't really go for that stem at the top of the route. And give Cunningham a lot of credit. Like I said, right hash all the way over to the left side. It is a long throw and very accurate.
31-yard gain. Hall, speedy back, spelling Hawkins, knocked down by Keontre Smith.
I like how they're attacking out wide, back into the middle, taking some shots. They're moving the ball inside Miami territory. Malik Cunningham, we've talked so much tonight about De'Ara King, but boy, he's been impressive on these 2 drives to start the second half of this offense.
Atwell, his first 4 catches just for 25 yards before that 31-yarder. That's more what you expect to see from this Louisville offense. Hall through a crease, and he'll be knocked down just short of the marker. It'll be 3rd and 2 as they've moved into the red zone again.
Yeah, Phillips that time widened out, thinking they're going to go to that stretch play, that outside play, trying to kind of set that edge. But again, we've seen a lot from Hawkins, but this time it's Hall. Bends that back underneath for positive yardage.
Cunningham under pressure, delivers, caught, first down. Justin Marshall down inside the 5. They were coming after him. He got it out in a hurry.
Well, they go with a zone pressure. They blitz here, blitz here. You expect Phillips to come. He actually drops. So they try to confuse the offensive line, and they do. They get home. It's just a good job of recognition there by Cunningham.
Playing fast on 1st and goal. It's Hall, and he's going to be dragged down behind the line of scrimmage by Harrison Hunt.
You know, Cunningham is very impressive in his second year as a starter, his second year in this system, of recognizing blitzes and getting the ball out of his hands quickly. It's like Hall's a little dinged up, comes out of the game.
Hawkins back in. 2nd and goal. Well, you can't have too many good running backs. It's a heck of a tandem. The Canes obviously have some young depth at the position too. Cunningham rolls, flips, caught, touchdown, Tutu Atwell. And the little guy with blazing speed from Miami featured in that drive. Cardinals answer the answer.
They sure do. And they go back to that matchup with Tutu Atwell against the bigger safety, Bolden. Now, they didn't even need necessarily that rub or that pick, just quickness, good timing, and another nice touch and a well-thrown ball from Malik Cunningham. Getting his guy going now, Tutu Atwell. We knew he had a chance to have a big night. Played quarterback at Miami Northwestern. You know he's fired up tonight.
State championship. You said it. That was a beautiful throw just over the shoulder of number 1. So pretty exciting start here to the third quarter. And the Miami lead again cut to 7. 27-20.
Saturday Night Football, presented by Capital One on ABC, is brought to you by General Mills. This football season, no matter where you are or how you pregame, we are all Tailgate Nation. Find game day recipes and savings at wearetailgatenation.com. And Nature Valley, we are better outside.
Coach Howard Selberg linking these two programs with a championship with Miami. 83, a couple of years later, came into Louisville. Still love it.
This gravelly voice. You just sounded like football.
We're sending our best wishes to him. He took a fall, hit his head. He's no doubt watching this game in South Florida. I wonder who he's rooting for, though. I guess.
Oh, yeah.
Would it be?
I don't know.
Louisville, Miami, just rooting for a good game like we are, I guess. Let's check in with Kevin Nagandi in the studio. Hey, Kevin.
Chris, how you guys doing? Good. One on the ACC Network. NC State Wake Forest tied at 21. Ricky Person Jr. to the left side, 33-yard run. And then what does he do? How about this? The direct snap. Person Jr. the jump pass to Devin Carter. 28-21. NC State right now. Back to Chris, Kirk, and Allison.
Thanks, Kevin. 3 touchdowns and the combined 3 possessions so far in the third quarter. So time for De'Aaron King and Cutton to go back to work. We don't see Cameron Harris in the game. I saw the freshman Rooster Knighton, they call him in there.
Yeah, remember that one play that Miami's had in this third quarter? He dove into the end zone, came up a little limp, so we'll see when he comes back.
Oh, they sneak a man open, and it's the Rooster loose, and they're not going to catch him. Touchdown, Miami. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and a full-on shootout.
Boy, wow. 2 plays, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter.
Yeah, not bad.
Not bad efficiency for Rhett Lashley and De'Aaron King. How about the eyes of the defense and how important they are coming off of a play action? Quarterback just kind of shows it. Both these guys are locked in on the quarterback. Nobody picks up the back coming out of the backfield, Knighton. And it's 2 plays. Congratulations to Miami. The execution has been nice, but Louisville's going to go back defensively to the drawing board and say, what did we do, man? We've got to make them earn this. People that bust there in coverage.
The young guy says, you know what, I'm going to take the rings. Let the veterans give me the offensive line. This is my first, the crib, and he is from the crib. He's from just north of Miami, Broward County. Again, their top rusher, and you can see why Canes fans are so excited about this young, true freshman tandem of running backs. Chayton, man, we're gonna check this out. Did Knighton make a classic freshman mistake? Did he drop the ball before he crossed the goal line? He kind of leaned into the tape like a sprinter. Wins the ball out.
I think he's through, isn't he?
It's in his hand. Does it lose contact with his hand? The Progressive Pylon cam may have a look down the line, and this is again the ACC Command Center in Greensboro. As we're taking a look at the replay, they have kicked the point after. So I guess that they made their decision that the touchdown stands just They're telling him, don't make it that close, young fella. Great job. Never do that again. The progressive pylon cam confirms what the replay crew in Greensboro decided, that Knighton just breaks the plane before flipping that football out of his right hand. Of course, you don't ever want to make it that close. We'll hear momentarily from our rules expert, Bill Lamagne. All scoring plays, and of course, automatically reviewed. And Bill, they decided pretty quickly that that was a stand.
It is a stand, yeah. And the thing players better remember is, with all the cameras that are out here on the field, if that ball comes out early, it could nullify their touchdown. So these players have to take that ball across the line. Don't put it in my hands.
Absolutely.
He was getting some coaching in that area.
Yeah.
After the touchdown run.
It's good you can learn a lesson like that as a young freshman back and not learn it from fumbling, not where it gets called.
In the meantime, Kirk, Miami had some drives of the field in the first half, but now 2 one-play touchdown drives. Another awful bust by the Louisville defense.
Yeah, secondary linebackers that time, eyes in the backfield. And almost like they had 8 men up close to the line of scrimmage, expecting a quarterback run.
And a whistle before the snap. And again, this Louisville offense is put in the position of having to answer, suddenly down 14 again.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's a frustrating way to start a drive here.
Cunningham has settled in. Clearly, Miami is going to have to play extra attention now to Tutu Atwell. After a quiet first half, he got heavily involved. The big play to set up the touchdown that he eventually scored. Maurice Berkeley, the third member of that rotation into the game, and he's got his first carry, banged into a blocker, and he'll be tackled behind the line of scrimmage. Roche off the edge, and Nestor Severa just shoved the blocker backwards. Allison?
Chris, it hasn't been a great start to this drive, but it's been a really good start to the half for this Louisville offense. And Malik Cunningham, he just has a different look about him here in the second half. He is so locked in, so active when he's on the sidelines, and he just kept telling his guys on offense, believe. They are getting tired on that defense. We have them where we want them. Just keep working. He went over to his defense as well before he took the field. He said, guys, just keep playing. We got this.
From the pocket. And as a miscommunication, Fitzpatrick broke the route off. The ball was deep, and a leaping attempt at an interception by Blades.
That's where you have a go route, but if you feel the DB is going ahead of you, you pull it back, and instead of extending it downfield, and he sees that and feels that the DB's ahead of him, so he tries to pull it back, hoping it's kind of like a back shoulder fade type of throw, but instead of doing that, Malik Cunningham threw him down the sideline, so miscommunication on the adjustment.
So 3rd and 20. And you're going to have to deal with that speed pass rush of Miami now. Guys moving around. They twist, and they came after him, and that scheme worked. And wow, Louisville just went backwards in that possession. Roche.
Yep, they were moving around to affect the pre-snap communication. I like this by Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator. He's out here. He's going to twist inside, but you see all this chaos as well. That offensive line's trying to figure out what's happening. Nobody picks up the twist. We've talked all night about Phillips on the other side, but Roche that time on a big 3rd down makes a nice play.
Because we had the Steelers-Giants talking about the complexity of the pass rush, the speed. More and more teams on Saturday looking at Sunday, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
These split schemes.
Absolutely.
Lupo gets the punt away, and this is returnable for Pope, who's trying to run and look for blockers. Now makes a cut back into the center of the field and will be knocked down in Louisville territory at the 41. So the Canes trying to build on this 14-point lead. Tomorrow afternoon, the WNBA playoffs continue. First at 1 o'clock on ESPN, the Connecticut Sun against the Las Vegas Aces and Asia Wilson. Then at 3 o'clock here on ABC, the Lynx and the Storm, game 1 of their conference semifinal series. Both games also on the ESPN app. Hurricanes faring better than the Heat, who are now down 18 to Boston. And Miami fans will keep you posted. In the meantime, can the Canes make it 3 for 3? No, this is a more modest third play of the third quarter.
Again, for people that have just tuned in and they see 34-20 and what's the story? We've been talking beyond this game. If you're an ACC fan, you've looked at Miami and probably thought, oh, they're overrated every year. And, you know, they always get the break in the preseason. People always have high expectations for them.
Play action on 2nd and 9. Downfield shot, and a flag comes out. Mark Pope was running, and it'll be interference on Louisville.
I think Jones grabbing onto the jersey.
Number 2, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Jones grabbing onto the jersey and then ran into the back of Pope. Right there, grabs onto his hand, grabs onto the jersey, runs into him. The 12,000 fans that are here didn't like it, but that's about as much pass interference as you can see on one play. I think he did it 3 different times.
How about Lashley trying to make it 3 touchdowns in the first 4 plays of the 3rd quarter?
Oh, he's going to keep attacking. That's just in his DNA.
Don Chaney is the back. They fake it to him, and again, involving the talented tight end Brevin Jordan.
I just want to finish that thought for people that are just tuning in. You know, Miami does get the benefit of the doubt because of their history and tradition, but they've struggled mightily. You know, in the last, you can go back 10 years, right? 15 years. And we've talked all night how this feels different with Rhett Lashley calling the plays in a new offensive scheme and De'Aaron King orchestrating this offensive attack.
You look at the numbers, the rankings are, well, they're usually meaningless at this time of year, even more meaningless this season. But Miami is making a statement. The credibility they got off the way they ended last year, kind of limping to a 6-7, was largely because of De'Aaron King and the expectations, and we're seeing why.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they've not been solidified at this position. I go back to Derek. I go back to Ken Dorsey, Brock Berlin. I mean, that's going way back.
3rd and 4, play action. King zips it across the middle. Catch made. Mark Pope stopped just short of the goal line. An accurate dart. And the Canes on the doorstep again.
And I love this off the play action. He knows right away that he's got a safety in the middle of the field and that he eventually is going to be able to hit that slant, and he does.
Here comes the tempo. Running into serious traffic as Chaney did not get back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, see Pope trying to extend, but his knee hits well short at about the 2-yard line. The progressive pylon cam, a good view of that. But boy, I love how quick, like you said, he threw that dart, but it was a quick decision. Pope heading out, limping.
He's replaced by true freshman Michael Redding. The true freshman Chaney is still the back.
The previous play is under further review.
So they're going to review the short run on the 1st and goal?
Like maybe for a spot, maybe? I don't know. Oh, the short yardage play never actually happened. So
that is the problem when you run extreme tempo after getting down near the goal line. I think our replay we just showed you confirmed the fact that Pope was stopped short. So they buzzed down just before that carry by Chaney. It'll be 1st and goal if this call stands, and we expect it to. I wonder if they're going to try to get De'Aaron King a keeper for a touchdown to keep alive that string, Kirk. He's got 16 consecutive games. He broke Tim Tebow's record with at least 1 rush and 1 passing touchdown. Passing he's taken care of. Doesn't have a rushing touchdown yet tonight.
Be a good time for that, don't you think? Here's the safety that he's looking at, Chris, knowing that he's got that slant. Just watch him come off the play action. Knows exactly where he's going to go with that ball and knows that he's got that pocket right there. And because he was able to get it out there so quickly and so accurately, it gave Pope a chance to catch it on the run and almost get to the end zone.
Anytime you break a record that Tim Tebow held, you know it's meaningful, and it does mean lots to King. Think about that. Rushing and passing touchdowns in every game, 16 in a row. That's a serious streak.
Yeah, you just don't see that consistency and the ability to attack and threat a defense from different ways very often.
After further review, the ruling on the prior play is confirmed. It will be 1st and goal at the 2-yard line. Please reset the game clock to 1:55.
Ted Jackson, just a confirmation there. Now it's 1st and goal.
1st and goal at the 2-yard line. You know, this play never even came close to the end zone.
There wasn't a play, actually.
I can't imagine that's a play. They definitely had to be looking at the play of Pope.
He spotted the ball back closer to the 2-yard line. Cheney, much like the play that didn't count. That one does count. Almost identical, and no gain.
I think you could keep your streak alive here with a zone read.
They're crashing down on the running backs?
Yeah, I think you can pull it if you want and have room. Or maybe roll him out off of an action look, give him the option to run or throw, but I'd get him on the edge.
He's got the ball. He was thinking about heading to the end zone, but the Cardinals defense all over him as C.J. Avery. Big series here. Backed up to the 5-yard line now.
Yeah, I think they were thinking the same thing. Look out for him on the edge, and that's exactly what they did. They were all over him there. Okioki is right there. Did a good job. He had nowhere to go.
So Louisville's defense backed up. Final minute of the third quarter, trying to keep the Canes out of the end zone for the first time in the half. King rolls, fires, caught. Harley, nope, didn't catch it. Had it, dropped it as he turned toward the pylon, and it's 4th down.
It's a nice route. He was on the inside. He went to the outside, man-to-man, got separation. All he has to do is hold on to that football, the progressive pylon cam.
Taking a beating tonight.
Taking a beating, but he walks into the end zone. Yep. Great throw.
Head swiveling around just before securing the football. So Borregales, who hammered one from 57 and then a chip shot from 48 earlier, now has the little angle shot here to make it 3 for 3 tonight and build the lead to 17. No problem. So Miami, touchdown, and then chip shot field goal on their 3 possessions in the third quarter. And against an offense this dynamic, Louisville kind of struggling to hold serve, Kirk, if you want to use my tennis reference here, and they haven't quite been able to. So a lot of work to do in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, a lot of work to do. And I just want to make sure we reference how much Rhett Lashley is impacted, not just D'Eriq King, but his energy. He's like watching Gus Malzahn on the sideline. We always like to have fun with Gus Malzahn. He's so animated, and it's all about tempo and energy. And Rhett Lashley, I think, has this offense. He told us they had 4 spring practices because of an obvious situation with the COVID. And he said, we gained more confidence in those 4 days because guess what? We got a chance to go against our first-team defense, and we had success. And they looked at me like, wow, 4 days into camp, we may have a chance with this offense.
It was enough to buy in, right?
Yeah, they bought in.
You know what happened in scrimmages in the past when the U went good on good?
Yeah.
The defense dominated.
Yes.
And it did not help the offense's confidence.
And I just think he's got, he just got a bravado about him and a confidence about him as a play caller that I think it really rubs off on the identity of this offensive side.
When he was at Auburn with Malzahn, Diaz, of course, defense faced him that year at Mississippi State and also at Louisiana Tech, so he knew how hard to stop the offense was. Although this does resemble more what he did at SMU, as you said. Not really like the Cam Newton Auburn era at all.
No.
Well, we're going to see Louisville against Pittsburgh, ACC football next Saturday. It's a noon game. For more info on how to get the ACC network, call your local cable company or go to getaccn.com. It's been a productive third quarter for the Louisville offense, but they haven't been able to make any headway. Actually losing ground here in the third period. Down by 17. Hawkins continues to have a big night on the ground. But they're going to need to light it up downfield and then come up with a takeaway or a stop to get back in this thing.
You know what happens when all of a sudden you have a quarterback that you believe in as an offense? You know who else it impacts? The defense. Because you don't feel like you have to go out and pitch a perfect game. Like, you don't have to be perfect. As a defensive coordinator, you can be a little more risky, take a few more chances because you have confidence in what your offense can do with D'Eriq King.
Last play of the third quarter, they feed Hawkins again, running left. Another nice run, another first down out near the 35-yard line. So Louisville trying to mount a drive here and cut into a 17-point lead. Visiting Hurricanes on top, end of 3. Back after this message and a word from your local ABC station.
Nachos come with rules, like don't take the fully loaded chips, don't hog the guac, and never take the last one. But with the $5 Grande Nachos box from Taco Bell, you can break all the rules, because this meal's all yours.
To tell everyone about AT&T's big 5G news.
AT&T has nationwide 5G?
Yep.
And that's faster?
Faster, yeah.
But is it reliable?
Uh-huh, and secure.
You should consider making a big deal about it.
Bigger?
I said bigger.
Oh, bigger deal, bigger than what I'm doing?
It's not complicated. A 5G network needs a 5G device. Now everyone, including existing customers, can get a free Samsung Galaxy Note 20 after trade-in.
Okay, I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. And I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. Bored in the house, bored in the house bored. I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored.
At Chewy, we know the best moments with our pets are made even better with food, so you can save on their favorite meals in between meals. Late night snacks, toys that look like meals, and even prescriptions, all delivered right to your door. Save 30% on your first auto ship order at Chewy.
Introducing Wendy's new Pretzel Bacon Pub Cheeseburger. Nothing will distract you from the pretzel bun and beer cheese. Not even all the comments on the pic you posted of your Pretzel Bacon Pub Cheeseburger. Download the app to order ahead and get Wendy's rewards.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I'm hosting the Emmys, and I'm doing it live, but I am not worried at all. 2020 has been pretty great so far.
Anything can happen when the Emmys are live. Sunday on ABC.
911, what's the emergency?
Can you hear me, ma'am?
I'm sorry, you have a what in your throat?
A spatula?
We're going to have to send the cavalry.
Luke Wilson hosts Emergency Call. New series premieres Monday, September 28th on ABC.
It's the moment I train for.
The moment I live for.
The moment when
passion, dedication,
when persistence pays off.
Making sure you get to that moment is our passion too.
Here to keep every athlete in the game.
No matter your sport, no matter your age. Just look for the end.
Norton Sports Health, official healthcare provider of U of L Athletics.
People are always asking me about Kara.
I think you're spending too much time on social media. Do you have to comment on everything?
Yes, I do. And it's about time you put me in a commercial. Go to getthetiger.com.
Louisville Muhammad Ali International Airport has been flying essential travelers across the country and around the world. We have implemented processes and procedures to ensure your health and safety. When you need to fly, fly Louisville.
Wake up weekday mornings on WHAS 11.
Start of the fourth quarter. Kirk, the DJ, get him hyped up here in the break between third and fourth quarter. The crowd jumping around, having a good time.
They're getting ready.
I would like to see this Louisville offense cut into the lead quickly here. Hawkins back in the game. First down play from the 33. It's a rollout by Cunningham, who's chased. A flag is down on the backside of the play in what would normally be considered the holding zone.
I think there may have been a chop block there. Yeah, the back, Hawkins went down low while there was already, the defender was already, looked like the big fella Severa was already locked up.
Chop block, offense number 66 and number 10. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Good spot, Coach. Bentley and Hawkins combining on the penalty. And once again, Louisville I mean, the last thing you need to do against the defense, which rushes the passer this well, is set yourself up way behind the sticks.
Once Bentley, 66, the center is locked up and engaged. See the back, how he goes and submarines him. You can't do that. That's where it's a personal foul and a chop block.
Because this is a dangerous block.
Yeah, yeah. You can take a guy's knees out with that.
First and 25.
Well, Louisville is really, they don't have a ton of penalties, but the ones they have had really self-destructing their own offense.
Hawkins with a first down run just barrels into the secondary and gets a whole bunch of yards back after the 35-yard line. Got 17.
And just when they dig themselves a hole, they go right back to what they know, and that's that outside stretch play where Hawkins is able to find a crease there and get through that second level, get to about 2nd and 8.
Hawkins is the guy that set the school record for rushing yards by a running back last year, the 2 best rushing seasons in school history, both by Lamar Jackson. He's a 1,500-yard guy, and now has a $150 tonight. Cunningham flushed and chased, and he has to bounce the ball too short of Atwell.
What's amazing tonight, if you've watched this game, is he's gotten his yards. He's at 150 yards tonight. He's averaging 6 yards a carry. If you would have said before this game started that Hawkins is going to get 150 yards to start the 4th quarter, average 6 yards a carry, I would have thought, man, their play action game off of that is going to be really effective. And yet you look at Cunningham, he's 160 yards passing. They've not been able to get the ball down the field at all in their passing game.
Fitzpatrick came out of the starting blocks too quickly.
Offense, number 7.
10 yards of completion is barely half of what they averaged last year.
Yeah, and Blake Baker, the defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, they put a plan together where they felt that they're going to just basically try to keep everything in front of them, rely on their defensive line and linebackers to eventually get to the running game, but they're not going to give up big plays in the pass game. And it's worked so far. They're making them earn it, kind of drive it methodically down the field.
3rd and 13. Aiden Robbins is in the game for the first time. From the pocket, Cunningham incomplete. Was under pressure.
Well, I don't know.
It's 4th down.
I'm not sure what happened there with Cunningham. He didn't have anybody there where he threw the football, and Miami brought some pressure, but he just kind of threw that. He's lucky it wasn't intercepted. There weren't any receivers there. You see Satterfield talking to him about it.
So Miami defense quickly gets the football back to the offense. That chop block penalty pretty much killed the drive on 1st down. Lupo boots it. Not pretty. And it'll take a backwards bounce and finally be stopped at about the 39-yard line. That's where Miami will start after the 31-yard punts. You got the Ed Matuitt for the MegaCast on Monday night?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to be having all kinds of guests hopping in, joining us. It's going to be fun.
King still got it. Zips it across the middle. Had a chance to hit Wiggins on the slant. Couldn't get it. Allison?
Chris, one addition to the Miami Hurricanes staff this offseason was an absolute legend for the Canes, Hall of Famer Ed Reed. His official title is Chief of Staff, but he is kind of like an extra set of eyes for head coach Manny Diaz. He calls him his culture coordinator. He said his job is just to kind of see the things I can't, pick up on the little things. Ed said he is absolutely loving this role. It's still evolving, but it's one he's really cherishing, being back on the Hurricanes sidelines.
Jordan makes the catch. With a mask, it can be hard, but then you see that gray beard poking out the bottom. You go, that's got to be the legend.
Man, I just love the hire by Manny Diaz. Like you talk about, you couldn't handpick a guy that can talk to these young players that are coming into this program about what this program means to him, to his teammates, to the past, the tradition of everything that it's been about, and he can convey that better than anybody.
Absolutely. Nobody has a more active legend alumni group than Miami. Sometimes it's not always positivity. They're very quick to voice their strong opinions and their high standards when things aren't going well, but it's great to have him on board. You said making real contributions really every day to this program.
Yeah, now he's working the official. There's nothing wrong with that. He's getting in there, talking to the official. But I'm
not sure that's in the job description.
By the way, everybody knows about him in the NFL. He had a Hall of Fame career. But for me, got a flag there. For me, I'd put him and Al Wilson, because when I first started doing this, loved watching these guys. Made such an impression on me. Ed Reed, one of my all-time favorite college players I ever covered.
I agree. If you're asked who are the best players you've seen,
pass, holding, defense, number 7, 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
You know, Mallory, the tight end, was trying to work free, and they just grabbed him. He was really the only receiver down there. I think Hugh Green, of course, the Pitt legend. Clowney was a tremendous defensive player, but I think in the secondary, he would have to be one of the greatest I've seen in 30-some years in the sport.
And for
College.
me, it was because of when he was in Miami. They were trying to get back to the glory years, and he was so instrumental in 2001 on the defensive side of the ball. He was like a coach on that defense. Remember the Boston College game when they picked up a fumble? I think Matt Waters picked it up, and he flipped it back to Ed Reed.
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. I put my heart in this, dog. Let's go, man.
A locker room, you know, if you leave tape on the ground, you know, that means somebody's got to pick that tape up. You know, that's not someone else's job. You put your own tape in the trash.
Pitch it far side on 2nd and 10. Catch made over there by Pope. Miami bench is actively involved. Enjoyed John with the DB over there. And then you're right, Lashley, foot on the accelerator. Up 17. They're still playing with tempo down here.
We were talking at the break because I think the Miami fans are still kind of trying to understand who Rhett Lashley is. And if you don't know, he played high school for Gus Malzahn and in Arkansas, and then he coached with him for 10 years. And what you're going to learn quickly about him is whether you're up or you're down or it's a close game, the foot stays on the accelerator as far as the scheme, as far as the tempo. You're up big here instead of working clock. They're going for another touchdown.
King still got it, zips it across the middle on the carom, almost intercepted. Making a diving attempt was the safety, Russ Yeast. Talk about efficiency, Kirk. He's known for running a lot of plays. They had 37 points in their first 47 plays tonight. That is frightening efficiency. Of course, the two long scores here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the third quarter, what did they have, 6 or 7 plays? It wasn't very many.
First two were 75-yard touchdowns.
Right.
But you don't see a Lashley offense run as few plays as this. They're sitting there just at 54. From the pocket, he's going to have to escape. Fires on the run. A dangerous throw, incomplete in traffic. C.J. Avery, I'm trying to get the ball to Pope.
Well, I thought he was going to get chased down from behind. He had some pressure. You know, I think eventually, I thought Peterson, 29, with his length might get to him, but he was able to pull away, almost threw an interception there by Avery.
So Borregales will be one of the takeaways here. The kicking issues at Miami, so troublesome last year and in recent years, have been solved. FIU grad transfer trying to make it 4 for 4. He's automatic. And that's a serious takeaway. You got a quarterback, they got weapons, they got running backs, and they got a kicker. 40-20 Canes. That's cool. The Muhammad Ali Center honoring Louisville's favorite son. There's Ali paraphernalia in the weight room here. The Ali family is so pleased the University of Louisville has embraced his legacy. Miami with 20 points at half and 20 after half. A 20-point lead, biggest lead of the evening here. We'll see what Cunningham can do. Needs a lightning strike badly to get Louisville back into contention. Borregales will hammer the ball deep into the end zone. All-State bus here in Louisville, helping us keep up with all the action. What's the All-State Protection Spotlight today?
Curtis stopped by the track there. I like to see that with the All-State bus. You know, well, to me, about one way to protect your quarterback, use motion, create a boundary where you have 4 receivers to the left. You have a mental error as far as the formation. They created a lot of space for a long run for Cam Harris. Another way to protect him, show that power look, quarterback power look. Freeze the eyes of the linebackers. It was back-to-back plays to start the second half for Miami. There are only 2 plays, and they put up 14 points.
Fans in the SEC will recall that kind of play with the Auburn Tigers. Gus Malzahn, when Lashley was there, that old, it looks like a QB run. Oops, well, gotcha.
When Cam Newton gives you that look, it's easy to get your eyes in the backfield. Or if a Nick Marshall were to give you that look, it's easy to want to come up and tackle him. But D'Eriq King, tonight especially, he hasn't really shown a ton of quarterback power. So I was surprised they had their eyes locked into that backfield the way they did, with that backside guard pulling around him for quarterback power. But it was just a play-action look.
Cardinals keep it on the ground. They've run the ball well tonight, but now you think there's some urgency. They got 10 minutes to work with, down by 3 scores. Frierson on the tackle. 3rd and 2. Now, you're right about King. He was an electric runner in the opener. 87 yards on scrambles. Now he shows you sort of the other part of the skill set tonight. Hasn't been a high-impact runner. Was it miscommunication? Cunningham's just going to try to scramble. Had a long way to go. Bubba Boldham ushers him out, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that did look like a miscommunication. This is definitely not what they wanted to do. I don't know if he couldn't get the ball in there or is just some kind of miscommunication, but you don't want to have him carrying the ball. That Miami defense, if that was the call, not fooled at all.
And we have seen white uniforms running hard to the football all night. They pursue well. 4th down play.
And they don't feel they're not threatened at all downfield. So it makes it a little bit easier to attack downhill as a defense.
Reserves in there on the D front for Miami on this 4th down play. And Hawkins is going to spin and gain some yardage.
Keep going back to only 166 yards passing. And Scott Satterfield, boy, he's done such a good job throughout his career of having a balanced attack and an offense that has the ability to make big plays and become explosive. And they've just not had that chance tonight with the way Miami's played them defensively. But when you don't feel threatened in the passing game, your linebackers can just attack the run game in a short passing game.
Cunningham
takes
a downfield shot. Tutu Atwell is running free. And the speedster down inside the Miami 30-yard line. That'll make Diaz angry. Defense lost focus on the top playmaker.
Yeah, that time they got him behind some coverage. Now, they've not shown a ton of that. They've gotten Atwell downfield a couple times, but that time there's just nobody. Everybody's thinking short pass, thinking run, which has been most of the offense tonight. He's able to sneak behind off of the play-action look and finally have some room to work with.
All-American from a year ago, close to a 100-yard evening now. 95 on his 7 catches after a slow start. Cunningham rolls and has a man wide open downfield. Huge collision. Ian Pfeiffer. A flag comes in on the tackle at the 10-yard line. Blow delivered down there by Amari Carter, the safety.
Amari Carter, again, is a senior. He's physical. He's known as a thumper. But this rule's been in effect since he's probably been in middle school. You just have to be able to try to lead if you can. Yeah, that was pretty good, actually. I thought he came in with the shoulder, his left shoulder there. See where he hits him.
This will, of course, be reviewed.
I really look forward to hearing what Bill has to say. It looked like shoulder to shoulder.
Because you cannot lower the helmet and lead with it this year. They've adopted the rule from the NFL. But, Bill, that didn't look to be the case in this tackle. How did you see it?
Well, first of all, he wasn't a defenseless player any longer because he had caught the ball, started the run. He's a runner.
Okay.
So the only targeting foul you can have is a crown of the helmet.
Personal foul. Targeting, defense, number 5. That play is under further review.
I think when replay takes the look at it, they'll determine the same thing. He's a runner at this point. So crown of the helmet is the only possible way that you can have this.
Bill, he did a
that's
great
not
job.
A crown of the helmet.
You look at all these different replays of leading with that left shoulder.
What happened last week against UAB, he got flagged for targeting against the Blazers. Then they ended up changing the call after reviewing it. And
I think
hard to hope it's going to be 2 for 2.
I think they should do it again.
He just delivers some violent hits. You can see the powerfully built safety, and it draws the flag, but that was not targeting.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I don't have targeting either. And even if he was a defenseless player, we'd have to look to see that
isn't that what you want the player to do? These days, wouldn't you be coached to do that, to avoid the helmet-to-helmet foul?
Sure. Well, and I don't usually you want to use the term helmet-to-helmet.
For targeting. 1st and 10.
So he has had in back-to-back games targeting overturned. That's a relief because he would have had to miss the first half of next week's game against Florida State.
And he's kind of an old-school big safety. Yep. I mean, it's
Bumper,
rare.
It's
rare to see, honestly, a safety with so many teams running some version of the spread that's up and over 200 pounds. But he is. I mean, he's a guy that he's known. They have 3 safeties they feel are going to play in the NFL. Carter, one of them.
They're all kind of big, though, aren't they?
Hall and Bolton, but they're all kind of different in their style of play. He's known as the guy that is going to lower the boom if he gets a chance to, as we've seen a couple times tonight.
So 1st and goal after the big catch by Pfeiffer, who doesn't reach the end zone for the first time in his career after catching the ball. Hawkins runs hard, barrels down inside the 5. Louisville still fighting. They've spent about 3.5 on this drive so far, trying to cut into the 20-point lead. 8th play of the drive coming up. Cunningham rolls, whips it in the flat. They love that play. Marshawn Ford, the tight end, wide open as he comes across. That's one of the favorite calls for this offense.
Plus, you throw Tutu Atwell in motion to give him a little bit more eye candy. He's here, and he just works out to the outside. Nobody picks him up. You see a Miami Hurricane defender, Steed, trying to get out there, but there was just so much going on with the jet motion, fake the handoff up the middle, and then the backside H-back out in the opposite flat. That's a lot of eye candy.
Swiss Army knife of this offense. His 9th career touchdown catch for Marshawn Ford, and Louisville cuts the lead, still 40-27. Pacific Life game summary is the quarterback comparison. Both King and Cunningham have some highlight plays tonight. King 278, the 2 touchdowns. Doesn't yet have a touchdown run, so that streak of 16 straight games with a touchdown running and passing, at least one, is in jeopardy for the moment. Cardinals have cut the lead to 13. May have some trickery in mind. The Canes are up expecting the onside kick, but there are 2 different kickers in the game, and the regular kickoff man is not one of them. James Turner, number 32. As the ball laid flat here. And now they'll motion a bunch of guys to the other side, and here goes the second kicker. And takes a big hop, and the Canes field it easily. So much ado about nothing for Louisville, and Miami will take over in good field position. It was interesting, though. Motion, 2 different kickers.
Yeah, they had a lot going on. I thought Brevin Jordan might just grab it and go score a touchdown.
I think he might have had a chance. He went to ground pretty quickly. Well, talk about the quarterbacks in this conference. Obviously, the near lock to be the #1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence, a quiet day in a rout. Beyond Trevor, though, there's talent, and we're seeing De'Aaron King, Ian Book ran for 3 touchdowns today, bounced back, wasn't great in the opener. Sam Howell, monster freshman year for Carolina, and Cunningham's very much in the conversation too.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker at Virginia Tech, Pickett at Pitt. I mean, I think it's the deepest conference this year with a quarterback play.
And that's saying something when you have the sport's biggest star in Lawrence as the leader of that group. When's Clemson going to be tested in the ACC?
I don't have their new schedule memorized. Do you have that off the top of your head?
Go to Notre Dame.
Okay,
I do know that.
That's always going to be a tough game, right?
You don't know what it really means. The typical challenges. They go to Virginia Tech.
Yep. I remember looking at their last 3 or 4 games. A couple of them away from home could be a challenge.
Miami has Florida State, then a bye. Then they go to Clemson October the 10th.
Yeah.
Be intriguing.
Yeah.
King as a ball carrier off the right side, gets it to the 40, and there's a flag on the play.
Prior to the snap, delay a game, offense, 5-yard penalty.
I don't know about you, but I'm kind of fired up. Now, next week, we bring in another conference into play. We've talked a lot about the Big Ten coming back October 24th, but the SEC is in play. And there's some intriguing games. I like the Florida-Ole Miss game with Lane Kiffin. Kentucky-Auburn, that could be a challenge for Auburn at home. Mike Leach going to LSU.
Yeah, you have to filter everything through. What's wacky as Chaney gets the ball. Wacky about this. Wacky is one way to put it, not the best way to put it. But, you know, Jordan-Hare is not the same, perhaps, as it usually is. It's still a challenge. The Kentucky-Auburn game is intriguing, and then things really get interesting week after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, you know, we obviously hope that everybody's able to stay safe and we're able to kind of continue to keep these games going. I know that's a challenge every single week.
3rd and 12. Canes have 3 receivers bunched to the left. Missouri with all those players testing positive against Alabama next week. King fires down the middle of the field, and wide open is Brevin Jordan. Another coverage bust and a hat-trick touchdown pass for De'Aaron King to cap a big night for the Canes quarterback.
You know, it was interesting to see Rhett Lashley trying to get the backup quarterbacks to yell to get the attention to De'Aaron King, and eventually they got it because they saw exactly what they wanted. That Louisville was outmatched to the field with 3 receivers. Nobody is a deep safety in the middle. And they knew that they had a shot to get vertical with Jordan. I mean, they were going crazy trying to get his attention to make sure that he saw what they saw, that they would get the right play called.
Coaches have to wear masks on the sideline, so it's harder to project. So he did a smart thing. He had the backups yell in there.
He did everything. They were going crazy, and he finally looks over. Oh, yeah. Yep, we got it. Foot on the accelerator all the way to the end.
Aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear. From end zone to end zone, Goodyear more driven. Canes offense has found the end zone 5 times tonight. The 5 possessions after halftime: touchdown, field goal, touchdown. 20 plays producing 27 points in the second half. Mr. Herbstreit, that is frightening efficiency.
Man, I know we've talked a lot about Miami's offense, but it's not only a big story here, it's a big story in the college football landscape. I mean, people around the country are right now talking about, did you see De'Aaron King and Rhett Lashley working together last night in this game against Louisville? This to see the coaches, Lashley in the orange, telling the backup quarterbacks who call in the plays, hey, we got the matchup we wanted. They're confused. They only have 2 guys. Then you see 10 comes out there late, Burns, and nobody picks up Brevin Jordan. So that was a nice job from the sideline, Lashley, seeing that there was confusion in the coverage again from Louisville, and why not take advantage of it? Even though you're already up big, keep attacking.
You know, King last week didn't have the kind of game throwing the ball he wanted. He admitted to being emotional. The first game he played since his father had passed away. Wanted to be perfect. Obviously, it's also his first game in a new system after a crazy offseason and only 4 spring practices. You can see tonight the full skill set that he's got throwing the football. This is more what he wants it to look like.
I mean, we've seen enough of his game in Houston. Personally, I think he had one arm tied behind his back against UAB. And I'm not knocking Billy Clark and UAB. They got a nice program. I'm just saying I don't think they wanted to show too much if they can get out of that game with a win and try to maybe open things up more in the passing game for this opponent on the road against Louisville.
Fitzpatrick makes the catch. Allison?
Guys, I liked the adage that Manny Diaz shared, that a defense takes on the personality of its defensive coordinator, but an offense takes on the personality of its quarterback, and that will bode really well for Miami with De'Aaron King. It's been a minute since this program has had that sort of maturity and leadership and poise at that position. I think they are really excited just about the complete package he is at the position.
Allison, you're a grad. I've been saying Dorsey going back to like 01, 02 era. Brock Berlin, who transferred over from Florida. I mean, I know they've had a few guys that have been okay, but not like, I'm talking like championship caliber.
Right.
Am I wrong? Am I going too far back?
Well, I think they had some talent there, like a Brad Kaya,
Yeah.
you know, guys that were highly recruited that had major potential, and you just didn't see it pan out. And I think a big reason for that, Kirk, is the lack of continuity throughout the years as offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I mean, they never had a system in place for more than a couple years going back, you know, to when Larry Coker was the head coach.
Yeah. Big play downfield to Braden Smith. Cardinals move the ball to the 32-yard line.
Louisville's still fighting, still trying to make plays, and saw this young man make some plays a week ago. Braden Smith, a backup who has some great ability, even as a high school quarterback. You know, I'd throw Ja'Cory Harris in there, Brad Kaya. I mean, they've had some guys, right? But I'm just talking about with the system and the quarterback. It's definitely been a long time. So reason to be excited and optimistic in Coral Gables.
Well, because the standards were so high.
Yeah.
Those guys, as you said, were nice college quarterbacks, but they were not Heisman Trophy candidates.
Right.
Quickly to Kevin Nagani with an update. We got a barn burner there.
Chris, great back and forth in Raleigh. Wake Forest, NC State. Kenneth Walker, the third touchdown of the night. Wake Forest's first lead of the game. 9 minutes left in the fourth. Here comes NC State. Ricky Person Jr., his second rushing touchdown. 45-42 Wolfpack on the ACC network. Back to you guys.
Fun night in the ACC. These games are going to be, I think, largely close in this conference. There's the run out of bounds there. That's the young ball king Robbins who fumbled it out of bounds. Talked about, you know, quarterback you. They have a star tight end, and there's a great tradition in Miami, of course.
Oh, my God.
You want to go way back to like the Glenn Dennison days of Rob Chudzinski, Bubba Franks, Shockey, Winslow. I mean, on and on. And even recently, you know, guys like Jimmy Graham and Chris Herndon.
Yeah.
Now they got one in Brevin Jordan, who, as you said, is kind of a hybrid, not a classic tight end because he's so athletic and plays more of a receiver
I think
role
in this
here.
system, yeah, they're splitting him out more, especially with the improvement of Will Mowry.
Cunningham on 3rd and 8. Catch is made by Fitzpatrick, who's got a first down inside the 20.
And if I were Miami right now, you can see the history of so many great quarterbacks. Like you said, Chris, you were going back even further. Bubba Franks, or these are tight ends.
Yeah.
You can go back to Bubba Franks, Jeremy Shockey, Winslow. Olsen was one we forgot. Joku is another really talented player that we see on Sundays.
Pressure. Cunningham eludes it, scans the field, fires to the end zone, and a touchdown for Tutu Atwell. He's had a strong second half against his hometown team.
Brought the blitz. Good job of stepping up and getting away from that pressure and eventually keeping his eyes downfield to find Atwell getting free in the back of the end zone. It's kind of what I thought we'd see more of tonight from Malik Cunningham.
So as good a night as this has been for Miami in a lot of departments, offense, quarterback, kicker, Diaz will have some teaching points in this defense. They've given up, 522 yards, obviously a little soft here playing with the lead, but not what they hoped for. 304 passing yards by the Cardinals. There's the Chick-fil-A rankings. Clemson in the romp over Citadel. We talked about Alabama opening against Missouri next weekend.
Yeah, these rankings now with the SEC starting up next week and the Big Ten getting started, on October 24th. These rankings are very fluid. They're going to change quite a bit.
Well, the shortened season, teams will play different numbers of games. And I think it's going to be hard for the committee. And, in the opinion of a lot of coaches, it's going to be about opinions, subjective more than ever. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, what if the Big Ten plays 8 games or maybe less if they lose a game? How do you compare that to a 10-game schedule in the ACC?
It's always a debate, and it's always going to be an argument at the end, right, since we've started this playoff, because it's subjective. But I think you almost have to – it's going to be more subjective than it's ever been because of what you're talking about. I just want to say before this game's over, the next challenge for Miami, because they've had some ups and downs in recent years, is to not listen to the local media. Don't get on social media. People are going to already have them beating Clemson in the A. They just have to keep their nose down and just stay together as a team and just keep grinding. Don't listen to any of the hype. Don't listen.
Good luck with that.
But I'm just saying, the guys that have suffered through a lot of pain, a lot of agonizing bus trips, and you get on a plane and you lost another game, they've got pain that you don't forget about. They need to hold on to that pain and anger and not celebrate too much because there's such a long way to go.
Well, the onside kick team is getting to use where they practice, and that was the little dribbler by James Turner. Did it travel 10 yards? I think they may have recovered it. You know, all that trickery paying off there. That time they didn't use the other kicker. Turner, after the fake, kind of dribbled 10 yards, and the Canes hands team fell asleep. So 2:06, 13-point game. Need a quick strike and another onside kick.
Right back in this thing. Instead of going left to right, went right up the middle, and as you said, Chris, caught Miami napping there.
He was a kickoff guy a year ago. Now he's a field goal kicker, not the regular kickoff man. Having a smile. And Hawkins had a big night. Spun down, tackled in Miami territory. Inside of 2 minutes now. Still sticking with the ground game. Down by 13.
Yeah, you're right. They need a quick strike and at least a chance at an onside kick.
Hoping that Hawkins could bust a big one on the ground. Now Cunningham steps up in the pocket. Can he escape? Bounces around, running sideways, and has to just throw it away.
It's a good job just to keep that play alive. He got pressure right away. Nobody picked up Roche. Left tackle that time just led him through. Buden just let him in, and somehow he's able to shake away from Roche, who's a big man with strong hands, but he got out of his grasp and at least bought time and threw it away to live for another down.
Canes 2 sacks, but they've affected the quarterback a lot more often than that. On 3rd and 4, they bring some pressure again, and the pass is complete underneath and met right at the marker. Is Jordan Watkins, freshman receiver. Tackle made by Jennings, and they will move the 6. It is a Louisville first down.
And Bubba Bolden has had a heck of a night in that secondary. Does a really good job of reading the eyes of the quarterback and understanding where that football is going to be thrown and then making tackles in space.
Clock ticking down, minute 8, as Cunningham again tries to stay alive, is running backwards, lost the football, and the turnover chain will come out for the 3rd time tonight. Well, he was trying to stay alive and make a play, but left the ball out there hanging, and Zach McLeod came up with it.
How fitting for Zach McLeod. It's a guy who has played a lot of football, decided to redshirt last year after the 4th game, just wasn't getting the chance to play the position that he wanted. They had some great players there at that spot with Pinckney and Quarterman, and so he decided to sit out last year to become the guy this year, and he's playing quick tonight. They blitz him, and now he's going to get the turnover chain if he'll accept it. We've seen some of the guys tonight not accept some of the jewelry, right? When they've come off to the sidelines, Cam Harris didn't want it.
It'll be a disappointing last play for Cunningham, who he did show you the heart. They battled hard as an offense. They were playing from behind the whole night. Their defense obviously couldn't stop Miami, but he will finish with his 2nd turnover tonight. He says, yeah, I'll take that, Shane, that big state of Florida. Come on.
There you go. See, he gets the ball away from him. Didn't keep the ball close to his body with 2 hands on it. Instead, he's trying to run for his life, gets the ball well away from his body, and McLeod saw that and knocked it away and jumped on top of it.
So you think that Louisville, when we left here after they got routed by Notre Dame, you had positive things to say. I frankly didn't see it. Yep. You were right. They ended up as an 8-win team. Your impression after this loss, it'll drop into 1-1 and 0-1 in the league.
I like the offense. I think the offense still has a chance to obviously do great things with Malik Cunningham, but I don't know about the defense. They really made some mistakes tonight, and they've got to go back to the drawing board and clean that up.
And for De'Aaron King, with his mom Cassandra and family making the trip from Houston, they've seen both of his games, and this was a step up and so much to be proud of. He's just a really impressive person, dynamic leader, done wonders for this, and obviously you see the skills throwing and running.
And you and I will get a chance to see him next week when we go down to Miami and they take on Florida State. in a rivalry game. It'd be fun to see him in that game and against that defense. But if you're getting ready to play Miami, you better get ready for a different approach. Manny Diaz went out, made a great hire with Rhett Lashley, has a quarterback, as Chris just talked about, with De'Ara King, playmakers, and more importantly, confidence, real confidence that they can win games because of the guidance and the leadership of that quarterback play in King.
See the post-game elbow bump, very 2020. There's still some jawing. They're trying to get these teams to the locker rooms because some guys are still running their mouth at the other side, and the coaches are trying to keep them separated as the Canes make their way to the locker room. Ed Reed said, I remember this part of it.
Well, I'm telling you, Ed Reed was around in some lean years on the back end of probation years. That's why I was saying, if you want to talk to somebody about pain, talk to Ed Reed about late 90s and before things got going in 2000 and 01 and 02. So he'd be the great guy to talk to about having a big win like this and not making too much out of it.
Satterfield and the Cardinals huddling up on the field as the Canes make their way off, and we'll head to South Florida to see Miami and Florida State. That great rivalry renewed at Hard Rock Stadium in front of a small crowd. See at 7:30 Eastern Time. 47-34, Miami comes on the road and gets to 2-0. Game produced by Bill Bonnell, directed by Derek Mobley. Thanks to our entire crew battling through COVID restrictions here. We'll see you next Saturday on ABC for the Seminoles and the Hurricanes. Except on the West Coast, stay tuned now for your local news.